Good morning, Daybreak watchers. We're going to get going in just a couple of seconds here.
Direction to take, but understood.org's resources helped guide me. Now I have the tools I need to keep us moving forward. Visit u.org/yourpath.
Good morning!
Morning! Good morning!
Good morning.
Good morning. We've talked the whole night through.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
This is where Wisconsin wakes up. It's Daybreak with Brian Noonan and Jamie Martinson. Here are your hosts, Brian and Jamie.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning on the Civic Media Network. It is 6 minutes after 6. My name is Jamie Martinson.
Hey, good morning. I'm Brian Noonan. Glad you're with us this morning. If you want to get involved in the program, 855-75-CIVIC, 855-752-4842. Everybody's here. Parker is in the Boy-Aquarium. Frank is lurking somewhere in his producer bunker where we don't know. But oh man, the big talk amongst the group is Abner Uribe channeling a 90s era attitude wrestler with his groinal chop. He comes out, he has an inning-ending strikeout against the Cardinals, who the Brewers came back and beat. And then besides doing the little point to the heavens or fist bump, he decides he's going to do a little crotch chop. Which did not sit well with Pat Murphy. I listen, I'm not this old man. I don't care. Chop your crotch, Abner.
Parker, can you demonstrate on the live stream what exactly the motion was?
Give us a Shawn Michaels.
Permission to do this.
Permission granted, yes. I actually knew this was
I want to see what
coming.
he's wearing.
Yeah, come on.
I thought he had on.
All right.
2, 3.
Come on, a little bit more spirit than that.
Not twice. 3 times.
Parker, come on.
You're not getting more spirit on that.
His choppage was thrice.
No,
and then Pat Murphy was waiting for him.
Now, I will say that my kid was working the other night, and I asked him about this, and I said, how did this actually go? He goes, everybody on staff thought it was great. Everybody was laughing. He's like, then our on-camera field guy got a shot of Murphy's face, and we were all like, oh, nope. So he's like, it was pretty clear when I had a conversation with Max that Murphy was not happy from the start. It wasn't just a slow progression, slow fuse as he thought about it more. It was pretty much him just not being happy with it from the start. So there is that part of it. He actually had a few things to say about this as well. Parker?
Yeah, that's unacceptable. Yeah, it's just unacceptable. I don't know what got over him. I mean, he's been an emotional guy, but that kind of thing, that's just not how we do things, and I was embarrassed by it. And, you know, why are we doing it? It's 6-0 game. What are we doing there? And there must be something deeper that I don't know about. I love the kid. Believe me, I love the kid. There's so much good in this kid. He's been so great for us in so many ways, but that's unacceptable. So whatever's going on, you can't tolerate that for his teammates and for everything else. It's just not. It's not going to be tolerated. That's all there's to it.
Okay, here's
Grandpa.
my question to all of that's what I was just going to say. Here's my question to the three of you, because you obviously all follow sports. And for anybody listening today, is it that big of a deal? I mean, is it how big of a deal is this actually?
I'll start by
blowing
saying
up in the
zero.
sports world.
It is not. Stop it. Everybody, it's these old purists. Hey, where are we celebrating? Act like you've been there before. Blah, blah, blah. It's very embarrassing that he crotched his chop or chopped his crotch or whatever he did. Maybe he crotched his pork chop. I don't know how he cooks at home. But to me, it's no big deal. And I know you would probably expect me to take the opposite stance, but no.
I figured you'd have a measured response to it because it is what it is. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Frank, go ahead.
Who cares?
I fully expected to be the one person to come on here to say, who cares? I thought Parker and Brian were going to hit me with the unwritten rules of baseball.
If they're not written down there, if they're not down, they're not rules. That's if they're unwritten, they're just suggestions or an idea.
So you have an opposite stance, Parker.
Yeah, I don't love it. I mean, okay. I don't
Love
think
it.
it shouldn't have been that big of a deal. But I didn't love it. I don't know. He did it. I don't think he should have done it, but I'm not like, I just don't want to see it again, frankly.
Is it something about, again, I say this all the time, even though the Cubs finally won a game last night. Just
Ooh,
putting
congrats.
that out there.
Well
Yeah,
done.
thank you.
Welcome back to.
Is it
the
something
win
with
column.
it's one game in May that really didn't mean
cares?
much? Like, you're up
Yeah.
6-0. It was like, why now?
I don't know.
Was
I
it,
think
They
that
did
is
this-
a big why, yeah.
It
was
just
it
rubbed you the wrong
Yeah.
way.
It just, I don't like that. And I don't like how showboaty Uribe is with his celebrations generally. He gets one celebration. He does like 4 celebrations every time he comes off the mound.
Everybody gets one.
Everybody gets one. Everybody gets
All right.
one.
You can't have 4.
And do you have a the duration on this one that you allow them, Parker?
There's not much of a duration, but when there are like very clear like 3-4 steps. First it's the dirt, then it's the point to the sky, then it's a slap on the chest, and then it's the guns in the holster, and then he added the crotch chop. There were
I
It's
like
all
the
one.
crotch
It's
chop.
all one big. It's all one big celebration.
one big thing?
I've watched
Now
it
nobody
evolve
gets
over
mad
time.
about the
It's more-
guns. Nobody gets mad about it in
I
this
don't get
woke
mad about the
culture that
guns.
we got.
No.
Okay.
Somebody
No, I like the
pretending he's got
pistols.
6 shooters.
Yeah, I like the pistols.
The pistols.
Okay.
Throwing
Fun.
heat.
So murder is better than sex in your book. Is that where we're going? Is that the whole thing?
I think
You-
that's
For
exactly
sake
what
of
Parker's
argument,
saying.
yeah.
gun
All right.
violence is
Yes.
gun violence is acceptable, and yet any sort of intimation of in your Victorian world of baseball, there shall
God,
be
that
no
was like
sex.
a political debate spin zone right there, Brian. That was good.
You like that, Frank?
Yeah.
Here's
That's
my
how we do it.
question, though. And Brian,
What are we
you alluded
doing?
to it.
What's going on?
What's going on?
Brian, you alluded to it because baseball seems to be full of purists, right? Where
Yeah.
if a football player did this, if an NBA player did this, would this be a national conversation, honestly?
Yeah,
What
there've
is
been some sacks where
crotch-
guys stood over the crotch is off limits.
The crotch chop, there's the Key and Peele skit that they did with Hingle McCringleberry, and you're only allowed, 2 pumps?
2 pumps. The third pump.
You're
Was it
allowed
the
2
third?
pumps. The third one you get flagged on.
So
and
is
the
that what
ref's
it went
staring.
wrong? Is that
There
what he
were-
did wrong?
Parker, correct me if I'm wrong, but it was 3 chops, right?
It was 3
Yeah, he
crotch-
did 3
crotch
chops.
chops. Yeah.
So
Had he stopped at
maybe-
one chop, Parker, would that have been enough?
If he stopped at one,
Just a little
maybe
tease?
2, it'd have been.
Oh,
Would've
two
been okay.
chops.
That's
is
actually
okay.
a really
Okay.
good point. Now, the
3
more I'm
rubbed me
thinking about
wrong.
this, 3's pretty egregious.
3 is a lot.
3 is a lot.
No, 3 ba ba ba. 3 is a nice rhythm.
They were
The
big.
rule
They
of
were very
threes.
emphatic. He goes,
That's why I said, Parker, you have to demonstrate. You have to put some soul into
Parker
it.
put no oomph because it
oomph at
offended his
all.
delicate sensibilities. He's afraid. He knows God is watching, and he doesn't want.
somebody's watching. I'm not sure who. Somebody's
Forgive
watching
me,
this.
Father, for these crotch
These
chops.
crotch
They
chops.
made me do it. They made me do it.
And the reason Uribe did it was kind of interesting because
Do
that
we
turned
know
into
why he did it?
This was a multi-day saga.
Okay.
From what I have learned, apparently on Monday on the game that I was at, actually, the Brewers, a couple of Brewers noticed that the manager of the Cardinals pointed to his ribs during a Brewer at bat. I believe while Yelich was at the plate,
Okay.
and the Brewers were claiming, a couple of Brewers were claiming that was the Cardinals manager saying to start hitting Brewer players.
Interesting.
What the Cardinals manager is saying that he was doing was that they had realized that the Brewers had picked up on some signs that the Cardinals had, and that they were being obvious about it.
This feels complicated.
Yes, it is. So the Cardinals think the
Baseball.
Brewers are being obvious about stealing their signs, to which the Cardinals manager is saying that he was communicating to the Brewer dugout, be smart, and he points at his head,
Uh-huh.
or someone will get hurt, and he points at his ribs. To
Oh,
which,
that is
This is
weak
dumb.
sauce.
That's yeah.
and also to me, that is clearly exactly what the Brewers thought, is that you were threatening to hit
Sure.
guys.
Someone
I don't
in
know
the
why
head,
he's
yeah.
using that as a defense.
What is the
Like-
beef with the why do the Cardinals think that any of this is okay? I mean, why is there a beef with the Cardinals? What is their record right now?
They're a couple of games back of us. They're like 3 games back
All
of
right. I mean, do we care that much? Why is there all of a sudden this weird rivalry between the Brewers and the Cardinals? This is very strange.
Because the Cardinals can't be beefing with the Cubs anymore.
That's true.
What are you talking about? Yes,
But they won
Sad
one.
sack land.
But they
That's
won
why-
one. They're back in the winner
They
column.
did win.
Sorry, Frank. We'll pick
The White
on you
Sox
little
win a
bit.
couple of games, and Brian's all high and mighty.
No. The Sox could still be losing every game, and I'd still mock the Cubs for a 10-game losing streak.
10 games.
10 games is really long.
That's-
Frank.
So the
That's
point,
painful.
I don't know, what do people think? 855-75-CIVIC, 855-752-4842. This should be a non-story. Maybe it is just like you said, Frank, because it's May, and we're looking for anything to hang on to and anything to make things exciting. You know,
Look,
Plus,
it can
remember
be
the
two things at the
outrage-
same time. It's
remember
dumb.
the outrage during wrestling in the 90s when they were all doing the X-Pac guy, they were all doing
Yes.
the crotch chops and the suck it thing and the whole thing, and everybody clutched their pearls. It's the downfall of society. So everybody like Parker is worried about the downfall of society.
Can I just say
Places
something?
for it.
You can.
Mr. Olson, who's cool with the Savannah Bananas, all of a sudden isn't cool
Oh,
with
God.
the crotch chop in a game.
We're back to the Savannah
gosh,
banana.
why
Did you
does it
just
always
had
come
to,
back
You
to
can't
didn't you?
compare the
Yeah.
bananas.
Roger from Stevens Point says that the Cubs and the Cardinals are in a virtual tie, second place, 4.5 games back. Thank you
Correct.
for clearing that up for us. I really don't understand why this is a thing. I really I've watched it a few times. I'm like, yeah, he's an athlete, whatever. Why do we have to make it a big deal?
Because it's baseball. Baseball
Baseball's
is
very
very
precious.
old man yelling at clouds. It always has been, which
Because
is
there's
why
so much
there's
time
a
to yell at
banana
the
ball
clouds.
This is true. It is.
Why the constant return to your banana hate? This I don't understand. What if
Because
the
it's all
did you try to get a
relative,
job with the
Brian.
Savannah Bananas
No.
and they turned you down?
This is
Because
all
you're an old
relative.
man?
Ooh.
We're going to see more athletes do stuff like this because they're missing the entertainment aspect,
Oh
right?
my gosh, they've been doing these things. Go all the way
Look,
back to the
let
Icky
me put my
Shuffle and
tinfoil
before.
hat on.
Okay.
Oh,
All right.
geez
Hat on.
Louise,
It's a
okay.
conspiracy.
All right.
Conspiracy.
By whom? Big Banana?
Big banana, Brian.
So let me ask you a question
Okay.
then.
That is a hot take.
I do actually have a question for you then. And it isn't about the Savannah Bananas, but obviously it would be another type of showcase sport. How do you feel then about flag football coming to the Olympics? Oh, we made him. Oh, God, he had to ponder that one. I'm just curious because you obviously it's going to be more of a showcase and more of a show, right? It's going to be less sporty.
It is. Hold on. It's still.
I'm just
I
asking.
don't think during the Olympic competition anybody's going to come out on stilts, and I don't think they're going
Their
to
loss.
reenact a play. Frank is just upset because he's a Cubs fan. You know what,
Thank you,
Alicia?
Alicia.
I am, but this is completely different.
Frank's got to burn his bonnet.
I'm.
We should let Frank only come in after the second segment because then he wakes up. He wakes up on the
Yeah.
wrong side of the basement and he gets
Yeah.
all upset.
You're very cranky. in
I'm the
morning.
only one talking sense right now.
I'm sorry, what?
Oh, boy.
You're the only one talking.
Can I hold on?
I still don't understand who's creating this conspiracy to entertain people. I thought we were paying big money to go to games to be entertained. Are we just there as analysts?
Extra entertainment, Brian.
Every sport has stuff in between innings, extra entertainment, fan engagement. Frank, that's a whole department at these teams.
Just saying.
How did the old man become a younger mentality than the actual young man? It's weird. All right, well, hey, there's a lot going on. The Justice Department is investigating someone.
All right.
I am the stick figure with the stick, just poking Brian every morning
Poke,
at
poke.
6 a.m. Come on.
Do something. Seriously, what the hell?
What are we doing?
We,
What are we doing?
Do it.
What's going on?
That's the rule. That's the goal now.
Entertainment. That's the rule.
do you know what I love about the fact that Spencer Pratt is running for LA mayor?
No,
Is that he's
hopefully.
finally getting dogged on by people?
That
Is he?
and the fact that now every time you look at news and somebody's talking about him, it's old clips of him and Heidi on the hills. Because that's the only thing that people would actually have to connect him with, because he's done so little in his career other than the hills. So that's what we have to connect him with. Boy, he has not aged well.
Like Drew Carey came out and bashed him publicly.
Right.
Drew Carey.
Who really stays very... Why is he in front of an Airstream right now in this commercial? Very weird. But anyway, Drew Carey stays as apolitical as absolutely humanly possible. And the fact that he's speaking out against Spencer Pratt is hilarious to me.
I saw a TikTok video where Spencer Pratt was at the Dodgers game and some dude went up to him and he's just like giving it to him of why he's an idiot. And there's a bunch of comments defending, being like, why, what's with all this hate for someone running for office? And it's like, because we don't want a reality star villain running Los Angeles. It's bad.
Well,
I think it's just a funny job.
That's what I mean.
It's not a funny
not.
job.
No.
It's like the Tellerico stuff where all the jokes about I can't have a Texan that doesn't know football, and it's like that's a funny joke, but I don't think you think it's a joke.
Right.
Yeah, well, that's
I don't
just
care if my politician watches football or gets meat in their
Right.
breakfast burrito, because apparently that's a thing too.
Oh,
What?
Just do the
vegetarian?
job. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
that
a
he's
whole thing.
vegetarian. Who
Okay.
cares?
All right. 10 seconds.
It's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing.
That's the goal now.
To have it a whole thing.
Now back to more of Daybreak with Brian and Jamie.
6:22 right now. Good morning, and thank you so much for joining us today on the Civic Media Network. My name is Jamie Martinson.
Good morning, I'm Brian Noonan. Do you think the investigation that the DOJ is launching on E. Jean Carroll is legitimate oversight, or, once again, the DOJ being used as Donald Trump's personal attorneys and attack dogs? 855-75-CIVIC, 855-752-4842. You all remember E. Jean Carroll, right? She's 82 years old. She accused Donald Trump of sexually assaulting her in a Manhattan department store dressing room in the 90s. Donald Trump denied it, which led to a defamation claim. A federal jury found Trump liable for sexual abuse by the civil standard, no criminal conviction, just putting that out there, reminding you, civil conviction and defamation. She was awarded $5 million in damages. Then a second defamation case was won by E. Jean Carroll, earning her just over $3 million. So she's owed $8.5 million by Donald Trump. Well, in a deposition, she reportedly said she had no outside funding during her legal case, and that is the basis for a new DOJ investigation. Donald Trump has sicked the DOJ on her, saying she committed perjury because somebody helped her fund her legal defense, a third party. And so because she said she had no outside money, now he's trying to attack her, and it's being framed as this long-time Trump foe is finally being called. No. He was found guilty civilly of assaulting her and defaming her. She's a Trump victim who is now being investigated. There's a big difference there.
Well, and let's be clear, in a court of law, if she testified and she lied under oath, then she could definitely face perjury charges, right? So
Sure.
that none of that has been found to be true. It has been found that she was truthful under oath, and that that none of what the DOJ is saying should actually matter. Here's the thing about this. We can talk about Donald Trump all we want. I would rather not, because what really bothers me about this particular case is what this means for women who have been assaulted and whether or not they're going to come forward, especially against anybody really, but against the more powerful. Because this really sends a message of retaliation, public attacks, humiliation, disbelief, online harassment, career consequences, years of legal battles, all things that most victims are fearful of anyway when they think or they're even considering reporting. This doesn't help. This doesn't help those cases going forward, E. Jean Carroll's or any woman's.
I agree with you on that bigger issue. I think, we know Donald Trump attacks women all the time, but verbally, not physically. Again, but we see him. We see him call reporters piggies and stupid people, and he has zero respect for women. But his weaponization of the DOJ doesn't see sex. It sees, I've been aggrieved by these people in some way or another. But it does, to your point, it does show that powerful people think they can get away with whatever they want. And in a lot of cases, they do.
And in Donald Trump's case, in the 2016 election cycle, he told us in those tapes that he does feel like he can get by with whatever he wants. They let me do whatever I want, right? He told us that was his mindset going forward. None of this should be a surprise to anybody as any of these cases move forward, that he thinks that is how life just works. He thinks that's how it works for him. He's told us that out loud in his own voice. So I don't know why anybody would be surprised at this particular moment in time.
But you could put that in the column for most things that he's done. He's told us he was going to do it. But this is none of his, while they are our favorite word, unprecedented, they are not a surprise. They are, hey, I told you I was going to do this. It's like what the scorpion and the frog.
Yeah.
Scorpion, I told you I was going to sting you. I'm a scorpion. That's what I do.
I mean, that's why he liked the poem "The Snake" so much on the campaign trail, right? It's the same concept. I mean, that's why he would reiterate it, though, over and over again, because it was the same concept of what you're just saying.
Yeah.
But I think, here's, if for anybody listening this morning, you can disagree with the president. I mean, you can even think that maybe E. Jean Carroll wasn't telling the truth, whatever it is. The investigation itself was legitimate. It played out in the courts, right?
Yeah.
There were judges involved. There were attorneys involved. So even if it was just a civil case, it still had to play out in front of the courts. I think, though, a lot of people would probably agree that as a society, we shouldn't create an environment where anybody, women or anybody who has cases, should feel afraid to come forward because they feel like there's going to be some sort of abuse of power once they do, if they actually have the evidence. And that's what I think is the.
But it hasn't that been the model, even with not really powerful men? Women are, when they come forward, they're raked over the coals. We've seen it with, of course. We've seen it time and time again. So what do we do? How do we?
Well, this certainly does. I don't know.
This doesn't help.
No, that's the thing that scares me the most, is that this doesn't help. And it even worries me with the whistleblowers who might come forward in government. It's all of it, because there have been so many cases involving this president. And if he feels like there's some sort of an egregious attack on him, even if it has played out legally in the courts, right? That's what worries me, is that whether it's the women, whether it's anybody who has a legitimate case, are they going to feel like the courts have their backing and that they can freely come forward with what they have because there's going to be some sort of personal attack by this president?
I think it's going to depend, I think, on how things play out from here on out. Because this is another one of those headline grabbing cases. It's a distraction. Because remember, we're still at war. There's still the Epstein files. Gas is still over $5, even though, the oil prices dropped a little, because that's what happens when he vacillates on what we're going to do in the war. And he does it, I believe, to manipulate the market anyway, so somebody he knows is making money. But if these cases keep getting thrown out, people are going to realize his threats mean nothing. And so, yes, I am going to do the right thing, because it's been proven out. It started with all the election stuff. Even though he doesn't believe it or acknowledge it. Oh, yeah, I didn't even look. Sorry. I'm on a roll, Parker. I'm going back to my old ways.
Are we? Is the internet's blurby?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I think it might be Brian. I'm not positive. I didn't notice it with Frank. But yeah.
What's going on, buddy?
Every now and then yours kind of blip. A little bit of lag.
Oh,
here
wow.
and there.
Do you want me to leave and come back?
If you want to give
my
that a
signal,
try.
my signal is. I'm checking it again. Just make sure it's on the right network. It's full strength. I'm 100%, buddy.
100%.
And it might just be the internet today. It could even be on our end
I
or
was gonna say
StreamYard.
it might be ours.
I mean, you're connected, and it's not like we're losing anything. So
No, I would say stay in.
it's just a little blurpy.
Yeah, because I would.
It's
worry.
just like that internet buffering that it sometimes sounds like it's doing, but that could just be the internet today.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell.
Yeah, because once again, StreamYard is always on its own unique little computer.
Oh, John from Oshkosh, thank you for the text this morning. He listening on WISS. He says, "I will never understand why so many people bend the knee to such a weak person as Trump." It's a
He's
good
strong.
question.
He's an alpha, don't you know? Pardon me. Oh.
Yes, he is definitely somebody that I would call an alpha.
So, Jamie, are we? So we're locked then for Baraboo.
Yes.
We're going up on the 10th.
Yes.
All right.
Yep, we'll have to figure out the schematics of that just because we'll have to be there right at 10 so we can get the performers because they have the Big Top show, but we'll figure that out. We can discuss that.
And who do I talk to? I know they have the sales has the room, the trade-out room of getting the room for.
Megan is actually gone this week.
Okay.
I believe just this week.
Yeah, so she'll be back on Monday.
All right. Because then I'll plan on doing is coming up there after the show on Tuesday.
Okay.
Do the show there Wednesday. Do the show there Thursday.
Sounds
So I'll be in the studio the 10th and 11th.
Perfect.
Sweet.
Yeah, Parker.
You're gonna have to be nicer.
New sheriff in town.
No, I'm very excited. Circus World is going to be a good
No, that sounds like fun. And when they said we get to be guest ringmasters, I was like,
kind of figured
I was
because
like
I've
a
done
little
that.
kid. That was
I've
really
done that
cool.
before with them, so it's always a lot of fun.
It's like, yeah. I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff.
John is over in YouTube chat. Frank, I defer to you on this one. He says, too late for a Christopher Titus appearance on the show. He's in Appleton this weekend.
Oh, yeah. Probably.
I think
That
we
would've been
probably would
something
need
to
to
know
be on
ahead
that
of
one.
time.
Yeah. Although, is he maybe on Nightlight later? I don't know. But that seems like Pete would have been all over that too for Nightlight.
Probably.
Well, yeah, if we're expanding our topic lists, we could start looking at that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
too.
absolutely.
Pardon me. Holy cow.
I know.
I was annoyed. I woke up what I normally do, but I didn't shower this morning because I showered last night.
Wow, thanks for all the details.
Well, so
Did you shower down there?
I had like an extra 25 minutes, and I'm like, well, I'm up. I don't have much to do sitting here at home, so I'm just gonna leisurely come into the office, I guess.
Oh man.
Jose is over on our Facebook chat, and he says, question, why is he still president when they have all of the evidence on Trump and his cabinet that he's a criminal and a liar and maybe even a murderer? Obviously, a lot of it hasn't been proven. A lot of it hasn't made it to the courts. Some of it was stalled. It's alleged. A lot of it was stalled.
We got about 10 seconds till we're back.
Want to join in on the conversation? Call or text 855-75-CIVIC. Now back to Brian and Jamie.
6:35 right now. Thank you so much for joining us on this Thursday morning. A gorgeous day shaping up across much of the state. Cooler temperatures, too. We actually topped out at right around 90 yesterday in Madison. Feels a little early for 90. I've got to work my way up into hotter temperatures.
No, you don't get to complain that it's warm. You know. Nobody gets to complain.
I don't complain that it's warm. I just feel like when it gets that warm that fast, it always, for some reason, takes me by surprise.
But Jamie, last week you were saying it's too late for it to be this cold. Stop.
I'm good with the warmer temperatures. I just yesterday it felt a little like I walked outside and I was like, I don't know if I was like ready for 90. I love the warmer temperatures. Aspen and I spent a good chunk outside, but I was like, I don't know if 90 is quite what I was thinking.
Okay,
I like a
listen.
gradual warm-up. Gradual warm-ups. That's what I like.
I agree.
Well,
I'm with her.
Like start at like the 60s, bump into the 70s.
Oh.
Eventually we get to 90.
All right, well, today it's going to be
65
cooler.
to 80.
It is. It's going to be lovely.
Right now it's going to be
excited.
cooler. So and then it'll be a little warmer. And then,
I know.
wow,
We're never
nobody's
happy.
ever happy.
No, we're not. We're not. Absolutely.
Why am I? When did I get recast as the happy-go-lucky, liberal-thinking, just all-accepting person on this show? That's not what I signed up for. That's not my business card. Not my resume. But man,
you're holding down the fort for the rest of us.
I guess
Thank
when we
you.
start, it's so cold. Oh, it's so hot. Move to San Diego. That's all I can. Anybody who complains to me about weather, that's the only place.
San Diego, two of my favorite places for weather.
San Francisco's weather is, but San Diego, I'll take San Diego. Sunny and
foggy.
75 all the time.
Right.
That's
see,
just
I'm
go
good.
there. That
I'm
it's
good.
that it's constant. That you don't have any fluctuation. That anything's
right.
good. You just don't want to accelerate the summer, do you, Jamie?
I do not. But we're going to starting on Monday because
That's right,
our
Parker. Look at it.
multi-state-
That was a segue, baby.
That was silky smooth.
That was good.
That was-
was
yeah.
really good. Our multi-state text to win contest starts on Monday. This is going to be your chance to win daily prizes, including $100, as well as a Wisconsin Dells prize package. And every entry that you make in the multi-state text to win contest is going to put your name into the grand prize drawing, which includes $250 in gas and another $250 in groceries. If you haven't already downloaded the free Civic Media app, please do so before Monday so that you can play along. The contest will last a couple of weeks. So you're going to have plenty of opportunity each and every day to get your name into the drawing for, some gas and some groceries. We love
Who can't use gas and groceries?
Oh, right now,
$250 will get
everybody.
you like a tank of gas and one bag of groceries, but it's something. That's a good.
But
That's
you
nice.
didn't pay for it. We're going to pay
No,
for
that's
it. on this one.
$500 in a day for gas and groceries. We like that.
Yeah, it's good
So definitely get the app. And we're not going to tell you to get the app anymore. We probably will, but
We're
if you
gonna
don't have
tell
the
you.
app now, come on, seriously.
It's just like I'm never going to complain about the weather again, Brian. It'll be.
Oh, that's true. Would you complain about taxing this anti-weaponization / slush fund at 100% here in Wisconsin if this thing goes through? And it doesn't, to be honest, it really doesn't look like it's going to happen because
Probably not.
The Senate is actually manning up and deciding they're going to try to block it. But if it were, and it's still on the table and it's still infuriating. And the people who are already saying that they're going to apply for this, if you've been living under a rock and you don't know what we're talking about, well, the government, as part of a settlement, because Donald Trump, if you remember, sued our government, the government that he runs, he sued it for $10 billion. And they decided to settle out of court. But part of the settlement was he was going to get a fund, a slush fund. That's all it is. It's to pay off his cronies. But supposedly it can be used by anybody who was weaponized by the Justice Department. Now, I'm wondering if E. Jean Carroll is like, oh, well, here's something else I could sign up for. Or James Comey, or the Congressional Six that led the January 6th Commission. All those people have been weaponized by the thing, but he didn't think it all the way through. He just thinks about it for like himself and the J6 people. Anyway, so this is for allies to get a little money back because they've been so unfairly targeted. Well, here in Wisconsin, we have somebody with some sense, Senator Hasselbein. She's not putting up with this. And I think she's a trendsetter because this morning I read that Governor Newsom in California has decided to do the same thing, which is what?
Yes. Well, basically, the proposal that would be here in the state of Wisconsin is that it would tax any payments from the federal fund from this anti-weaponization fund, this $1.8 billion. It would tax it at 100% in Wisconsin. So Hesselbein yesterday announced this and essentially said that taxpayers should not be financially supporting people connected to efforts of overturning the 2020 election. And she went on to argue that Wisconsin families are more concerned, as I think we all are, about everyday issues like groceries, gas prices, and all of the rising costs. So it's fascinating, and I've also read that New York is contemplating and talking already about doing something very similar to what Newsom is proposing and what Minority Leader Diane Hesselbein is proposing here in Wisconsin.
So
I mean, that's the thing.
I'm not good at math. Maybe you can help me. This is why
Okay, all right.
sorry I interrupted, but I'm trying
please.
to wrap my head around this. And I'm sure there's other people who are going, wait, if we tax it at 100%, then they get nothing.
Right.
Correct?
Yeah. Yes.
We get it all.
Absolutely
we
correct.
being the state.
Yes.
So Donald Trump would then, in effect, be paying states that he does not like because they're either purple or blue.
Right.
All this money.
Yes. That's
all right, good. I
essentially what
got
would
it
happen.
then. That's what I figured. I like that plan.
I think it's a great plan, and I think if you are somebody who wants to take advantage of this, because let's be clear, a lot of the January 6th insurrectionists who were convicted, who were tried legally through the courts, then were pardoned by the President of the United States. A lot of them have gone on to commit other crimes and also ended up back in jail. So it's like those little tidbits of information that as we're trying to, say that they were victimized by the Biden administration, turns out that maybe they actually committed a real crime or two on January 6th.
And for anybody who still defends people who were there and involved as saying, well, they didn't really lead it, they were just there and they got caught up in it.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? If you're in a fight in a parking lot at Culver's and you're just kind of there, but you throw one punch, you're still part of it. You were there. You're as guilty as anybody else. The DOJ was not weaponized against you.
No.
You decided to try to overthrow the government. And I know that sounds grandiose, but in all facts, that's what happened. You tried to storm the Capitol to stop a vote to certify an election. That's what you did.
It's exactly what they did. And I think in Wisconsin, this is going to be very interesting. Obviously, in states like California, New York, if they propose the same type of bills, you don't have as divided of a government. Obviously, we know that those are pretty blue-leaning states as far as even their state legislature. In Wisconsin, voters are very, very divided on January 6th to this day. Hardcore Republican voters still believe that January 6th was a patriotic event. And then, of course, your more independent and your more Democratic-leaning voters in the state of Wisconsin see it as an assault on the Capitol. So I think it's going to be an interesting fight. Now, there's another
I'm sorry,
caveat.
I can't give there's times when I try to give credence to people and let people have their own opinions, and sometimes you're just wrong.
Yeah,
and if your opinion is that this was not an attempt to usurp the government and an insurrection, you are wrong.
Right.
I'm sorry, I can't take the high road and say, well, I can see where you might think. No, stop it.
It was an insurrection. It was an attack on a U.S. It was an attack on a U.S. institution, I should say, and on the Constitution as far as peaceful transfer of power. Yeah, now, there's another caveat to this story, though, because yesterday, a conservative radio host shared screenshots online of a former Trump attorney and retired Wisconsin judge, Jim Tropis, allegedly requesting $3.2 million from this anti-weaponization fund. Now, according to those screenshots, Tropis said that the money would help cover legal bills and damage his reputation tied to the investigations into Wisconsin's false elector scheme. Now, if you don't remember the backstory of what he did, he actually helped lead all of those legal efforts that challenged the absentee ballots in Dane and Milwaukee counties after the 2020 election. And he did face felony forgery charges tied to paperwork that falsely claimed that Donald Trump won Wisconsin in 2020. So Hesselbein is saying that if the bill passes, any money that would be paid to Tropis through this fund would then be fully taxed by the state. So just it's like another little caveat to what Hesselbein released yesterday, and another detail that makes it even more interesting.
Yeah, it's one of those stories where I don't even want to give it any air because it's so ridiculous and so infuriating. And I know it's out there and I know we have to mention it, but the gall of this, because I read his letter and I've had to go through, I lost my years of my life and I lost my relationships and I lost my law. Well, then you shouldn't have broken the law. You shouldn't have tried to defraud the American people and the people who put you on the bench with all this craziness, with all this made up hokum about a stolen election when you knew it was not true and you thought you were going to feather your bed with an allegiance to a guy who has no allegiance to anybody. You just decided you were going to do this, and now you're coming back to cry. If we're going to give you, anybody who's in jail now could say the DOJ was weationized against them. Of course. Because, it was. You're a criminal. Yeah. We turned the attention of the DOJ onto you. We focused it on you. You know why? Because you deserved it. And if you weren't guilty, you wouldn't have been found guilty. Now, are there exceptions and some people are... Yes, but not the J6 people. We saw it. We all saw it.
What I think is fascinating, and I understand that in Washington, D.C., this bill is losing rapid support among the Senate. But what I do find interesting is that Dianne Hesselbein, Gavin Newsom, legislators in the state of New York find enough merit to what is being done in D.C. that they feel like they need to do something to potentially combat any sort of outcome from this. So I do find that interesting. Steve from Mount Horeb chiming in this morning on our text line, listening on WMDX in Madison. He says, as a veteran, this January 6th insurrection that occurred rocks me to my core, that Republicans call it a peaceful protest. Thank you very much for that text this morning. I mean, that's just it. We saw it play out in our own eyes. I remember being glued to the TV, and you will never tell me once that this was done out of love for country. You will never get me to believe that it was done because you just believe that it's so strongly, or that you got wrapped up in something that you shouldn't have been in.
No, it was done at the behest of one man.
Yes, we saw it.
Yeah.
We saw it.
All right, listen, we've got things to do, Jim. We gotta get out of here. We'll be back. We don't have to get out of here. We'll be back. It's Daybreak on the Civic Media Network.
I just think it's ridiculous that states even feel like they have to have some sort of bill like this. Like, what are we doing? It's...
Look over there, look over there, look over there.
Right? I don't know. It's very bizarre. We live in very strange times.
We live in the dumbest times ever.
We do.
The aerial photos that they're putting out now of the White House, where you've got the East Wing, just a big hole, and a UFC cage going up in the middle of the front lawn. It's like, what in the... What are we doing?
I'm trying to ignore
what's going on.
I'm trying to ignore the UFC thing because that is just the most ridiculous thing ever. What concerns me
more
the most
ridiculous
is
than the Arch? More ridiculous
it's
than
all
the pool?
ridiculous. What bothers me is that there is a big hole in the ground next to the White House of what is now a building that was just there that is now gone. That like what, and that's tied up in courts. I mean, this president he's 80 some years old. So I say this because of his age, he could be dead before this is figured out. There's just a gaping hole in the ground. Like, there's rebarb sticking up and construction is essentially halted. Like,
it's going
what are
to
we
take
doing?
so long for this country to bounce back if it ever can. It's ridiculous. But
It's
his boy in Texas won, so that's looking good for Tellerico.
Yeah, hopefully. Texas just is one of those anomalies, right? Like I know there's good people in parts of Texas, but it feels like when it comes to voting, they never do the right thing.
Yeah.
That's just, because of I think what they're fed from their own state government constantly. Texas is just, that's why I understand when Democrats, the DNC gets excited about, oh, maybe we have a great candidate, we can go flip it. And then they spend a lot of time there. And then they kind of miss out on the spots where it's actually flippable or it's more of a swing state. But I mean, if they're going to spend time, I think Tellerico would be the candidate to do so. It's just, I don't know. Texas is just always that weird anomaly to me. It's a little bit like Florida. Every time the Democrats think that they've made inroads in Florida, Florida goes and does like Florida things, right?
Yeah, Florida's a lost cause. Forget it.
And so I feel like Texas is a little bit like that. Now, the only thing that gives me hope in Texas is that, it is still the land of where Ann Richards was. And I don't know if that's
long time ago.
That's what I was going to say, though. But are we too far removed from that?
Yeah, 15 seconds to our back.
All facts, no fiction. It's Daybreak with Brian and Jamie.
6:52 right now. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. It is the Civic Media Network. My name is Jamie Martinson.
And I'm Brian Noonan. Glad you're here. 855-75-CIVIC is how you get a hold of us. 855-752-4842. I was surprised, Jamie, when you sent this story along, but I liked it. All right. I want to know how you guys would vote if this were the case. Imagine you lived in a town somewhere in Wisconsin, small town, and for the last 140 years, you could not buy alcohol in this town. And I know in Wisconsin that is sacrilege.
That's
to not
never
be able to buy.
here.
Never going to happen. There's no dry counties. There's no dry towns.
There is not.
Well, Falkville, Alabama, they voted yesterday to end the town's 140-year alcohol ban. The measure was passed by one vote, 116 to 115. So there were 115 people in this town. Now, there's 800 registered voters in this town, so you can tell how big it is. I've got about 700 people in the closets behind me. So only 231 people voted, which the mayor did not like. But there were still 115 people there that said, nope, we don't want no alcohol sold in our town. Now, I want to make sure this is a real story, Jamie, and I'll tell you why. Mm-hmm. Because the mayor's name is Ken Winkies. The Quick Mart, not the Quickie Mart, Parker, the Quick Mart. I thought it was Quickie Mart, and I kept looking for the Quickie Mart owner's name, and I was like, if it's Apu, I'm throwing this story right in the garbage. But it is not. There is no name for the owner of the Quick Mart who said this is going to be great for his business now because he's going to be able to sell liquor in Falkville.
What I think is interesting is this particular Quick Mart, and at a town this size, right? If you have 800 registered voters, you can imagine that the Quick Mart is probably one of the main businesses.
It's the place.
Yeah, so they've been in business since 1983, and they actually plan to build a separate liquor store building instead of selling alcohol inside of their gas station because they say that this decision is meant to respect all the residents who did vote against the measure while still supporting the local business growth. And
in this day and age, who is so afraid of liquor? that
It's
they can't see it when they go into.
I'm telling you.
I've been to Alabama. I've been all
There
over
are
the South, and I
there
know,
are
but
places.
well, does Minnesota still have that deal where they can't sell beer on Sundays? Indiana had it for a long
I
time.
believe so.
I
believe
recently
so.
learned about this, that North Carolina
Yeah.
has like really hard laws on alcohol. I didn't know
Yes.
that at all. And there's
Yeah.
like still dry counties. I had
Yes.
no idea.
Dry
that was a thing.
counties, and there's places where you have to buy a membership before
Yep.
you can't just go into a bar. They'll sell beer and stuff, but if you want to go to a place that serves liquor, and they serve it in those little airplane bottles.
Yep.
So you have to pay like a
about shooters.
$5 membership fee to go into the bar or the club.
Yeah.
Because I know you're a club kid, Parker. So you bring an extra 5 spot when you go down there, and then you can get your your Red Bull and vodkas, whatever it is you kids drink.
That is the thing. Good job, Brian.
Thank you, thank you, Parker.
I do find this story fascinating, though, for many levels because of the fact that, first of all, voter engagement. I'm always going to pick on that. Hello, where the other 600 people come out and
They're
vote
drunk.
because you know there's going to be people who are going to be super upset about this because it passed, but yet they probably didn't vote. And the fact that this also proves that your vote does matter. It passed by one vote, and it was certified by the city council just this Tuesday night. And those alcohol sales will start this fall. So now you think about places like the Quick Mart, and kudos to those business owners who are like, ooh, our business is going to grow. But we understand that some of you are not happy about this, so we're going to do a separate thing. So
Just put all the
kudos to
hooch
them.
right next door.
So kudos for actually respecting the people in your community,
But
though,
then
at the same time.
Also, I have to go back to kind of, so you're so fragile. Now, these are, and I'm guessing I've been to Alabama. I don't think it's a stretch to say it is a mostly red state. For people who call Democrats snowflakes, that you can't even look at a 12-pack of Blatz when you go to get your gas because it offends your sensibilities. I'm going to have a vapor if I have to look at, did you see that bottle of Jack Daniels? It made me so upset. I just can't anymore. Gerald, get me out of here. Take me home. All right, Miss Daisy, get in the car.
It is fascinating to me that this is the lengths they're going to go to. That's why I put this story in, because I'm like, there are a lot of angles to this one. It's like quintessential small town politics.
Oh, it is. No, it's
right?
hilarious. And that in 2026 we're still having votes over alcohol.
Right.
When I'm wondering, like, do they sell vapes at the Quick Mart? Do they
that's what I
sell
was gonna
cigarettes?
say. What would this town do if it was like marijuana bill or vote for that? I mean, this is a
It's
town
those
who's
old
serious.
Prohibition era laws where you can't. That's why they have moonshine. But here's the thing: Falkville can't be that big. So the next town over, Booze Town, you just cross. You go a couple blocks and you can buy as much alcohol as you want, and then just bring it back into Falkville.
Lynn from Golden Valley chimed in to answer your question about Minnesota. They now sell on Sunday, she says. She's in the Golden Valley area listening on the Tap in Eau Claire. She said small stores did not want. They understood that they will not sell more. They just needed to hire 2 to 3 more people. It was the big Costco's, the Walmarts, who wanted the 7-day sales as far as alcohol sales on Sundays in the state
I'm sure there were also
Minnesota.
people who wanted to be able to buy, beer on Sundays. I thank you for the information, Lynn. I appreciate that. I'm guessing there were a lot of citizens who were like, "Oh, I forgot to get beer. Oh, it's a Vikings game. Can we?"
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, we ran into that a lot when we lived there because we'd have friends who'd sit down and they forgot to go, just what you said, get their beer to watch the Vikings and the Packers or whatever it was. So I get it.
All right.
I get it.
Well, Falkville, pour one out for your saddened daisies who cannot stand the sight of alcohol. When we come back, it's some stuff you need to know and a whole lot more. I'm Brian Noonan. This is Daybreak.
I'm Jamie Martinson. It is 6:59 right now. Thank you so much for joining us this morning on the Civic Media Network.
Alabama.
Alabama is a special area. It
Yeah,
is
that's
the
a nice way
special
to put it.
place.
For special people.
Well, we've been
Crotch
down
chops and civic clashes.
I was waiting to see
What
what they
AI?
would come up with because I was having a hard time coming up with a headline on my own.
AI must be
it might-
thinking, what's going on with this program?
Chad is chiming in on YouTube this morning, saying saying hello, hello,
Oh,
back to
Chad.
you, Chad. Hopefully you're having a good day so far. It's early. Feels very early today. I don't know why.
Yeah. Oh, pardon me.
No, you're good. Was Mike Clemens all over the Josh Jacobs stuff yesterday?
I noticed that he retweeted a video of LaFleur talking about it while Mike was standing in the background.
Wow.
I don't know how much original was from him because I mean in those press gaggles,
Yeah.
all of the standard beat writers are there, so I think he might have been retweeting a bunch of that. And also LaFleur didn't say jack. Obviously, he was never gonna.
He's never.
But
No.
yeah,
The only thing we actually learned is that the Packers players would not be addressing
Yeah.
the media yesterday.
yeah, that was the only thing that was quote unquote new. And I figured that would happen because the idea that they were going to let the players talk was
Well, and the fact
crazy.
that, of course, the media was going to be like, "What do you think of Josh?" They can't say.
No. Yeah.
Why put him in that position?
No. So, tough couple of months for Pack availability to media.
Yeah, it
'Cause
has.
They didn't introduce the new coordinators for months to the media.
They never do though. They
Don't
did
they?
that. They did that under Halfley.
Did they? Okay.
It
I
was
didn't
like
remember.
it was after when they hired Halfley. I remember that was a thing because my Packers contact in Green Bay was like, I think he exists, like because we haven't actually
Yeah.
seen him, met him.
Yeah.
We're told he's here, but
Yeah.
it was like it was multiple weeks after It's almost like they get the entire staff
Yeah.
basically set, and then
Sure.
Packers trots them out to the microphone.
Yeah. I think it's one way of doing it. I don't know if that's right.
They're always so cautious.
I mean,
They're
yeah.
a really cautious team.
Yeah. They've always been very buttoned up.
Yes. Like who hurt you at one time?
Yeah,
What
really.
reporter said
Yeah.
mean things about you?
Yeah.
But you kind of knew when they hired Goody, though, too, that none of that was going to change. Because I remember when when Ted Thompson stepped down, that was because he'd been in such the vein of Ron Wolf and things. People were like, "Ooh, new people, will they, change?" Well, Goody came up in the same,
Yeah, he's in the same farm.
and Ed
Yeah.
Policy basically came up in the same era with the same people, so he wasn't going to change things
No. Yeah.
this time around. I wonder if he'll go sledding like Mark Murphy did.
Oh,
though.
I really hope so.
There was
That's my
never
favorite
there was
picture.
never a greater photo ever
No.
than Mark Murphy with his hands up. He was so happy to be sledding down the hill at Sunderland.
Yeah, that's good. That was always my favorite picture to be seen after Packer wins.
Right? Oh my gosh. Mark Murphy. What? Morris Day and the Time were listed alongside Milli Vanilli and Vanilla Ice on the lineup for Freedom 250 in Washington, D.C., only for Day to quickly say, "It's a no for me."
Well, you
Frank is
can't have Morris
seething
Day in the time
that you just
without
read
Morris Day. That's a lineup for
hilarious.
that's the kind of Trump inauguration lineup that you're looking at there too. Millie Vanilli,
Except there's not a vanilli. There's just a Millie left.
just a Millie, and there's just the time. There's no Morris Day. America, have you heard?
And then there's Vanilla Ice.
And there's Jesus. Well, Kid Rock will do it.
Maybe Kid Rock and Vanilla Ice could do a duet. Maybe they could do Ice Ice Baby together. That would be like the greatest moment ever.
This.
I'm not sure that I've ever been so happy to say 15 seconds until we're back.
How about it?
From Lake Superior to Lake Michigan, this is Wisconsin's Morning Conversation. Daybreak with Brian and Jamie.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning on the Civic Media Network. It is 6 minutes after 7 now. My name is Jamie Martinson.
And good morning, I'm Brian Noonan. And yes, it is a conversation, which means you need to participate. 855-75-CIVIC, 855-752-4842. I know you're getting ready for work, getting ready to take the kids if they're still probably getting near the end of school, but you're up, you're moving around. Yeah. So
Wisconsin goes to school really late into the year.
It's a lot of learning to do.
That was very new for me, because my friends in South Dakota, their kids have already been out of school for maybe 2-3 weeks, depending on what school district they're in. Yes,
Oh my
because
God, that's too early.
They start before Memorial Day, though.
All right.
Or before Labor Day, I'm sorry. They start before Labor Day. Usually schools in South Dakota start mid-August, and then they get out a little bit earlier. And now with, distance learning, if there is an actual snow day, kids don't actually get snow days
snow
anymore.
days anymore. No,
Yeah,
no
so that
kid
helps
gets,
with the calendar. Yeah.
It does. Well, my district gets out on, my old district gets out on Tuesday.
Yeah, it's late for me in this part of the world because in the very upper Midwest, even in North Dakota, a lot of the schools get out much earlier because they do start before the Labor Day holiday.
Got to get those days in before civilization shuts down for 3 months in the winter.
I know folks in Alabama whose kids will start back to school the end of July. Not even joking. They will literally start back into the school classrooms in the end of July.
It's time for year-round school in this country. Get these kids, let's catch up. The other countries are dwarfing us.
That's right. That's right.
So that's something you need to know, but do we have any more stuff you need to know?
It's a wake-up call in more ways than one. Time for some you need to know.
Look how we did it. We tied in from schools to Wisconsin teachers unions. They have experienced the largest drop in strength in the nation since 2012, according to a new study from the Thomas B. Fordham Institute. Come on, teachers. Teacher union membership in Wisconsin fell from 98% in 2012 to 45% in 2025, wow. The biggest decline of any state. What is going on? Researchers say much of the decline is tied to Act 10. Oh, yeah, that's true. The 2011 law signed by Governor Scott Walker that limited collective bargaining rights for public employee unions. It was, well, we're not going to re-debate Act 10. Wisconsin now ranks 36th nationally in teacher union strength after previously ranking 18th. Despite lower membership, Wisconsin teachers unions remain active in state politics and education policy debates. And I come from a teachers union mom and a non-union school administrator, who was formerly in the teachers union. Yeah, I'm sure we could say that for a lot of union jobs in Wisconsin, where it's like, oh man, come on.
I do find it interesting, though, that all these years later, we're still dealing with the ramifications of Act 10, and we knew we would be, right? But at the same time, this also explains the big stories about why young teachers especially aren't staying in this state.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, this is a big part of it.
Yeah, but they don't go on strike. Yeah, well, you still don't pay them enough. You're lucky you have it, because if you did, there would be districts striking nonstop because of the wages and the conditions and the program cuts. And so, I mean, if you're a proponent of Act 10, you get what you pay for, I guess.
None of it is good for our education system. any of it. In other stuff you need to know this morning, I love this story because Great Lakes cruises are growing in popularity, with 2026 expected to be a record-breaking year. The economic impact of cruising on the Great Lakes is projected to be more than $300 million this year, which is up 25% from last year. That's according to Cruise the Great Lakes. That's a marketing program aimed at bringing more passengers to the region. 10 ships across 7 cruise lines are slated to operate on the Great Lakes this year. Together, they will carry more than 23,000 passengers. That's up about 5% from last year, according to Cruise the Great Lakes. Now, Wisconsin's tourism secretary, who happens to chair Cruise the Great Lakes, said that they expect a record-breaking season, and that's such great news because the Great Lakes can serve as a gateway to the state, bringing first-time visitors to 5 of the state's port cities. Who knew cruising on the lakes was such a big deal? I didn't realize that was such a big industry. I'm learning something.
I knew. I remember last year talking about some cruise ships docking along Lake Michigan, but I didn't know it was such a big thing. But that's great. I'm trying to think 5 port cities as you go up. Obviously, it's Milwaukee is one if we're starting in the south. Where else? Port Washington. Where else would you dock along between here and Marinette? Would Marinette be one?
That's what I'm wondering.
As you come south from Marinette, because then you're up in the UP.
Okay, so I've got the list here. So we are the 5 prominent port cities in Wisconsin include, as you mentioned, Milwaukee, also Green Bay, Superior, Manitowoc, and then this one is going on the river because I just did a quick search, so I'd have to dig in a little bit more. It's got La Crosse listed because of the river, but obviously in this particular story we're talking about the lakes.
All right,
but that was a quick one, but
I don't know why I brought that up and through things.
No, that's good. I like to do research on the fly.
A little research on the fly.
I like it.
All right, let's, you know what, even though there's stuff, tell Billy to hold on. We're going to do just for 1 second. Let's finish this last quick story, and then we're going to talk. Billy's a member of the teachers union. He wants to jump in
love to hear
about the
from
last
him,
story.
yes.
So last thing you need to know, it's just for fun. Scientists have announced the discovery of a previously unidentified species of octopus found in the Galapagos Islands. It is very cute. It is very tiny. It has blue flesh and large eyes. It can fit between the bottom of your palm and your first knuckle of your middle finger. It's tiny. It looks like something out of anime. It was discovered first in 2015, and then it took forever for the paperwork and everything to get done and the logistics. But the octopus finally arrived at the Field Museum in Chicago in 2022. It is there. They're not going to do a lot of experiments on it because it's so tiny. It's in formaldehyde, but you can go see this thing or look it up. It looks really, really cute. I didn't know this. 300 different species of octopus of varying size, shape, and color.
That's crazy. I had no idea. I didn't know there were that many octopi in the world.
I did not either.
But now you know. See, even with stuff you need to know, we are educating you here on Daybreak.
Edutainment. Education and entertainment. And let's talk to, we were talking about Wisconsin seeing its largest drop in teacher union strength. And Billy is a member of a teachers union. He is listening on WMDX. Hey, Billy, welcome.
Hey, good to talk to you. As a member of the Wisconsin Education Association Teachers Union, I think that certainly I'm not as sure about the drop in the membership coming from Act 10. I think that was kind of across the board. But as we, try to build our numbers back up, it's very interesting in my situation. A lot of our members are like me in their 50s. And it's very difficult to get younger members to join. They often cite the expense of the dues, but the dues, I think, are well worth it. It certainly comes back to us in salary when we have that bargaining power. But I understand that it's not free.
Sounds like we lost. It sounds like we lost. Are you there? There we go. Okay.
Sorry, Billy. Yeah. You keep breaking up, but we appreciate the call.
Thank you for the call.
Your point is well taken, and this has been going on, and we mentioned it's been going on for years. The retention of young teachers, and then you're right, getting them if they don't see the benefit of a union having
Right.
either grown up in Wisconsin and being indoctrinated under Act 10, or they just don't know what it's going to be. It's hard to get them to join. Whereas in some places where you have to join the union if you want to work. I think unions are a good thing. I think they can go a little off the rails, just like anything else. But
it's all
overall,
about leadership at the top of every union,
exactly, and what you decide to ask for and what you decide to fight for. But it is one of the things that is keeping young teachers who are trained here from sticking around. Do we have a big story today, Jamie?
We do have a big story today because it turns out that there's a lot of people in this country who are struggling to find food. In fact, a new Federal Reserve Bank of New York survey found that hunger in the United States, this is mind-boggling to me because we all remember back to the COVID times, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hunger in the U.S. right now is worse than during the height of the COVID-19 panic across the nation. In fact, about 10% of families said that they have skipped meals because they can't afford food. 16% have relied on food banks or donations. And obviously, this is affecting people making less than $50,000 a year more than a majority of other people with higher incomes. Nearly 20% of those earning $50,000 a year or less are saying that they're going without meals because of financial struggles. And in fact, there are food banks across the nation, Brian, that are reporting the demand is so great that some families are lining up overnight or sleeping in their cars in the parking lot so that they can get groceries the next day. Now, I did a little digging into this, and it turns out that in Wisconsin, we're also dealing with the food insecurities. 1 in 10 Wisconsin households faces a food insecurity right now. That affects nearly 700,000 residents, including more than 200,000 kids. Food banks across this state have seen an increase in demand from nearly 30% to more than 100% since the pandemic. There, obviously, you couple on the fact that rent, groceries, healthcare, childcare, utilities, all of that are also rising. We are in a major crisis in this country when it comes to food, and it's terrifying. It's terrifying.
But the good news is we have money to pay insurrectionists. We have money to repaint the reflecting pool, and we have money for an arch and money, for all sorts of things. But feeding people, giving them health care, we don't have it. No, it's ridiculous that we're in this. We're supposedly the wealthiest nation on the planet, the greatest nation on the planet, and yet we have so many people who, even if they're working 40 hours a week, because that used to be the old, if you had a job, you wouldn't have to go to a food bank. No, that's not the case anymore.
No.
Sometimes you got people with two adults working, or even if one adult is still working a full-time job and they can't afford a simple place to live and food for their kids.
And what's scary right now for these food banks is here in Wisconsin, they're reporting a double squeeze. They have to help more families while they also have to deal with rising food prices, higher diesel prices to get the food to their banks. And then, of course, they're also getting fewer donations because people don't actually have the money to go.
Right.
Exactly.
We don't have the extra.
Talking college students in this state. 27% of UW-Madison students report that they are struggling to find enough food to eat because of the disparity in income, the cost the cost of being a student in this state, and the fact that the rising costs are just pinching them out of what they can afford. It's frightening. And I also now start wondering, because kids are so food insecure all across this country, and we were just talking about it at the top of this block, kids are getting out of school, and for a lot of kids, that was the one meal a day that they got. What are these kids doing in the summer?
It's the hardest thing, and I know there's a lot of areas that do different programs where at least the kids can come and they can pick up a sack lunch, and you can, if you're school-age kids or if they'll give lunches to your siblings, you come and because for all the arguments about school lunches and school breakfast, sometimes that's all the food you get. All right, well, on that happy note, let's switch it up and go to Swipe or Stay. We'll get to that after this. It's Daybreak on the Civic Media Network.
Mr. Plowking, when we were talking about the lineup for America 250, said, I've seen better lineups at county fairs. Thank you for that. Chad, everyone is talking about but everyone is talking about is relative. The greatest nation is all relative. I mean, who's the reciting factor? It's a good question.
Federal judge just declined to halt the executive order creating a federal voter list and limiting mail-in voting.
Great.
Yep. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday.
You know, one of the reasons why Representative Karen DeSanto is because she ran the Boys and Girls Club. And I remember during the pandemic, she was so afraid of what was going to happen to the kiddos who went to that club. She organized basically a thing where we all masked up, we all gloved up, and we went in and we made lunches. And then one of the businesses, it was a spa business, they had a truck where they sold merchandise at like all of the craft fairs and things. We loaded that up, and then we would go around and deliver to each house, or we'd sit at like a certain block, and all of the families knew like where we were going to be. And then we would hand out free lunches. And Karen did that through the entire pandemic until the kids were able to go back to school. She was a powerhouse because she was so afraid that the kids weren't going to get food. And Baraboo's very, not unlike a lot of places, but it's very disproportionate as far as income levels. You've got either people who are doing very, very well financially, and then you've got a whole subsect of people who are just barely scraping by. And she was so concerned that, we organized and we did it, and we delivered all through the pandemic until the schools were able to open and feed those kids again. It was a big, big task. And then even if they weren't members of the club, but they heard, somebody's family heard through the grapevine that they were doing this, sign up. We'll make sure you get a lunch. We'll make enough food for you.
All right. We got 15 seconds.
Let's break out of the bubble and see what's happening out there in pop culture. It's Swipe or Stay on Daybreak.
7:22 right now. Thank you for having us on this morning. You're listening to the Civic Media Network, and it is time for Swipe or Stay. We are going to put the politics aside for just a few minutes, because during that break, if you were listening on the stream, we were watching stories come in, and we'll get to all of it this morning. But first, we have to talk a little bit about pop culture, and our senior producer, Frank, is joining us. Tell us, we're going to talk about some happy stuff, because it's been a rough news day today.
That's a really good question, Jamie.
Okay,
Are we going to
all
talk
right.
about happy
Are we going to talk about happy stuff?
I don't know. Did you get your coffee? Are you in a better mood?
Hey, I don't dictate what's happening in popular culture, Brian.
What's happening?
What
do we know?
Here's the rule.
What's the rule?
Here
What's
are the rules. I'm going to read some pop culture headlines. The goal now is Brian and Jamie to decide whether to swipe or to say.
That's the goal now. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
And then Parker can be the tiebreaker if you guys just can't decide.
Okay.
Parker breaks the tie.
Parker, if you get to break a tie, you have to do a triple crotch chop.
Oh, I'm so making him break a tie. We might even make him break a couple now. All right,
I know.
Let's go.
You guys suck.
Son defends AI likeness of late rock and roll dad.
Oh, interesting.
Stay.
Okay. I'm going to stay on this one. We'll get you a tiebreaker though, Parker, I promise.
Jack Osborne is standing by his and Sharon Osbourne's decision to create an AI version of the late
Please
Ozzy
don't.
Osbourne.
No.
Are we doing a young Ozzy or a later in career Ozzy? Because there's a distinct difference of what you want to see.
Great question. We don't know yet.
Oh,
No, let's just have our memories of Ozzy.
right?
So
Those are cool.
Jack Osborne was on a YouTube live stream and said, here's the thing. It's going to be so tasteful what we're doing. It's not going to be effing lame. It's really complex what we're doing. This isn't just like hooking up an image of my dad to Chat GPT.
Oh, it's not? Okay. Well,
Because
that's
it
is
kind
some-
of feels like that.
This is some high-level technology that we're going to be working with.
Okay.
So beginning late this summer, Black Sabbath fans will be able to interact with an AI version of Ozzy, which bears his digital DNA, as well as his voice, likeness, and movement with the help of hyper-real and proto-hologram.
Oh,
Okay.
stop it. Can't we just... People die. It's part of the whole circle of life. They're
only
dead, they're
that.
gone. We have so many things about Ozzy to remember.
I feel like I've watched enough episodes of The Osbournes
Yeah.
to know that I don't think Ozzy would have liked this.
I don't think so either.
I don't think so either.
I don't know
think
him
it
more
is
than his
lame, and
family,
I think
but
it's a money grab, and it's
Yeah.
Come on, stop. And can we say I was going to I was going to look shame Kelly, who has now
No.
morphed into Sharon, but I'm not going to do that because
No shaming.
I'm not shaming anybody.
we will shame for AI.
Okay, there we go.
Moving on, actress wants to move on from a previous role.
Too bad. I'm going to swipe.
I'm going to stay because I want to see
I knew
Parker
you were
do
going
it.
to.
Parker.
That was the gamble.
what happened.
Thank you,
What
Jamie.
do you want to
Here I
hear?
go.
What actress and what role? Or are you chopping it?
I'm chopping it, Frank.
Okay.
I'm swiping.
Okay.
You're
let's
gonna have to
see
do
it.
the
No,
movement for me.
Let's see it. There we go.
All right, on command.
You guys suck.
A-list actor holds up TV series production.
I haven't read this, but I love this show. I saw the headline. I'm staying.
Stay on this one.
So the show is Mobland.
Great.
Okay.
So apparently Tom Hardy is a difficult guy to work with. A
Really?
new report claims that the actor repeatedly stayed holed up for hours during filming in his trailer, causing major frustration with the cast and crew behind the scenes. Now, I've never watched Mobland. Jamie, I don't think you're familiar with the show, but Brian can attest to this.
Yes.
He kept Pierce Brosnan and Helen Mirren, of all people, standing, waiting for hours to film their scenes for this show.
Why? Well, I mean, he's known for being like this, though, right? This isn't the first time we've heard of Tom Hardy being like this on his set.
It's
so this
almost
isn't
like-
surprising.
It's almost like Jamie read my script.
I'm
The
sorry.
Oh,
next
see, and I
line-
didn't
the next-
know this. I didn't know this part.
This isn't the first time people have pointed out Tom Hardy's antics.
Yeah.
Patrick Stewart labeled him as withdrawn and isolated from the rest of the set.
Huh.
He also had a lot of behind-the-scenes tirades and clashes with Charlize Theron for Mad Max Fury Road.
Really?
So, as of right now, Mobland has not been renewed for a third season, and many people are pointing to Tom Hardy and what to do with him as a big decision why that hasn't been renewed yet.
Well, yeah, because his character is like the three of them are the main characters: Helen
Sure.
Mirren, Pierce Brosnan, and wow, that's,
Tom Hardy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tom
By the way,
Hardy.
Roger and Steven's point back to the Ozzy says that we should let Ozzy rest in peace. That's
I
what
completely
he says.
agree.
I agree.
That's what he says on the text line. And Mr. Plow King says swipe on AI slop. So there we go.
I
We
agree.
got time for one more. Let's go 3.
Female singer addresses outfit criticisms.
Oh, I always love a good mishap. Yes, I'll stay.
I'm going to swipe because I think we need to see it one more
Parker!
time.
Yeah, Parker, what are you doing?
You swiping or saying, stay!
You're a good
Olivia
sport.
Rodrigo has been the subject of criticism lately as she gears up for the release of her new album. There have been some music critiques, but also a lot of people commenting on her choice of fashion. In her new music video for Drop Dead and a recent live performance, she has worn baby doll dresses. If you don't know what they are, go look them up. Rodrigo fired back saying she's more annoyed at the fact that she's worn much more revealing clothes in the past, but even this gets criticized and sexualized. She said, I just think it really shows how we normalize pedophilia in our culture. And also, it's just this rhetoric that we're fed as girls since we're so little, which is don't wear that because then a man is going to sexualize your body. And it's so weird. That's Swiper Stay.
That is weird.
It is weird.
Thanks, Frank.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Leave us with our
And
head
on a high
spinning.
note.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
When we come back, if you could change one thing about each political party, what would it be? We'll talk about that and more It's Daybreak on the Civic Media Network.
All right, we're clear.
I want to address this real quick.
Chad, there
Yep,
we go.
I got it. Hey, Chad. I have your submission and everything. I will be reaching out when we see the correct time for it. But yes, I have it. Don't worry about it.
You'll know when Frank decides, Chad.
The Olivia Rodrigo story is interesting to me because she does have a very distinct choice of fashion.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't understand. First of all, I don't care. I'm a jeans and t-shirt person. So fashion to me is whatever. But at the same time, I think that the choice of fashion right now for really young women with this very baby doll style is intriguing. And it really goes back to, no wonder. I also understand why people got so upset by the Sydney Sweeney stuff in Euphoria.
Well, those are we're talking about very different looks.
But it's still that baby doll type style, though, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the thing, and so it's very distinct, different scenarios. But I understand why it probably in both cases upset people so much because it is very, I don't know, it's an interesting. I don't care what she wears. Wear whatever you want. Wear whatever makes you happy. But
Well, that's kind of like, I noticed it because I was like, wow, she's really wearing this outfit more than once. I think it's weird, but again, I'm not a fashion person.
Right.
I also wear jeans, t-shirts, shorts, t-shirt, sweatshirt, hat. That is my fashion.
Right.
So I just chalk it up as everything else. I don't. It's whatever.
But it's also, I will also say that baby doll style also harkens back to the 90s style, right? That's a very 90s, and 90s are
kind
so...
of Courtney Love whole
yes,
kind of
and
thing.
90s are very back right now. And because that was super popular when I was in like middle school and high school, is that 90s. So it's also that, and let's be realistic, she has like stylists who are picking very distinct looks for her, right? So there's also that. But I also understand why it upsets people because it is odd. It is. Did
you finally watch the latest episode of Euphoria?
I did, and I got done with it, and I was like, "What the hell did I just watch?"
I literally went upstairs and I just see this on the couch. And I said, "What is wrong?" And she's like, I don't know why I do this. I said, what do you mean? She goes, Euphoria. I can't wait for this stupid show to end.
It's got like one more.
It's got one episode left.
It's supposed to be like an hour and a half long, too.
Oh, my God.
Now, why do I care about this show?
Because you watched the rest.
I did, and now I feel invested, and now I have to, I feel like I have to know what happens. It's a very bizarre choice of TV watching, but now I feel invested and I feel like I have to finish it.
We're going to kill this character off by burying them alive and a snake bites him. What?
Right? It was so weird.
What are you talking? That's why I asked my wife.
That sounds like something out of a soap opera from the 70s.
I asked my wife, I was like, how would you describe this show? She goes, I don't know. I don't know what's even happening. I don't get the point anymore.
Yeah. I will say the only thing I will say about this is that Zendaya's performance she's incredible.
Right.
Like everything else is just subpar around her. But she is like incredible in this last season of it.
There have been some good memes about Sydney Sweeney and her character.
Oh, God. She's not
I just
one of
Googled it. Is she dressed like a dog? Is that what you guys are talking about?
She dresses like a baby. She dresses like a dog because she has in the show an OnlyFans account.
Be careful when researching Sydney Sweeney pics, by the way. Although, Brian, you're not on the network. Go ahead.
No, I'm on my phone.
Yeah, you go ahead. You do whatever you want.
I do whatever I want. No, I would never use a work computer to Google.
Parker, you don't use the work computer.
Yeah, don't do that.
No. No,
I can. My phone isn't even on the Wi-Fi.
I can explain the chop.
That's because I never got the password. 15 seconds till we're back.
local news, community stories, and the conversations that matter most. Now, more Daybreak with Brian and Jamie.
Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us this morning on the Civic Media Network. My name is Jamie Martinson.
And good morning, I'm Brian Noonan. So if you could change one thing about each political party, what would it be? 855-75-CIVIC, 855-752-4842. Maybe this will help spur some thoughts. This is breaking news from the AP. A federal judge has declined to halt the president's executive order creating a federal voter list and limiting mail voting, clearing the way for potential sweeping changes in how American elections are run shortly before the midterms. U.S. District Judge Carl Nichols, a Trump appointee in Washington, late last night rejected the request by Democrats and civil rights groups that had argued Trump's order would likely be found unconstitutional because the states and Congress, not the president, have the power to set election rules. Nichols agreed with the Trump administration's contention it was too early to issue the order because it is yet to be implemented. So,
well, that's good news, and
sure, lots of good news, Jamie. That's what we do. We deal in good news here.
Let's be realistic. We knew that this was going to be a long, drawn-out court battle between the administration, the civil rights groups, the Democratic Party. So I'm not actually surprised, but it's unfortunate. I mean, it is. It's unfortunate that we have that news this morning.
Yes, so we'll just keep up the good fight and move on. But the reason we asked you if you could change one thing about each political party, what would it be? Americans as a whole just do not think the parties are doing a good job. So what do Americans dislike about the two parties? A Washington Post ABC News Ipsos poll last month asked more than 1,200 Americans to describe in their own words what they dislike most about each political party. They asked open-ended questions, and those are useful in tapping the top-of-mind opinions people have about a topic, which can be useful in understanding. So, what party would you like to start with, Jamie? Who should we critique
first?
I don't
know, but good gravy. How long did these poll takers have to go through this list? I mean, really, truly, for a lot of people, this is going to be endless. But let's start with the Democrats. Let's start with them this morning.
So, a lot of complaints about the Democratic Party. The two most common were their positions being too liberal, and on too liberal on a range of issues. That got about 12% of the respondents, or too weak and don't stand up enough to President Trump. 10% of the people said those. So those were the top two.
Well, they don't like strongly worded letters. Okay,
right.
Check.
And I would agree with both of those.
Yeah.
As a Democrat, I am willing to critique my own party and say, yes, those are two. I think the left wing of this party is insane. And way, way, way too progressive. And I know people are going, well, what do you mean by that? Especially our friends who listen in Madison. And I'm not mocking your ideas. I'm saying for me, they are too liberal. I don't, and we'll just use defund the police as one of them. And then we'll move on. Now, the next, the top five, should we do top five or a top 10 list? So we've given you 1 and 2.
Wow.
The other these are all at 5%. Corrupt, self-serving, favoring corporations, and powerful.
Okay.
No dislike or pro-democratic views. Also 5. So 5% of people said they liked everything about the Democrats. That's a little crazy.
They don't pay enough attention then, do they?
However, 5% said they disliked everything about the Democrats. So it's a wash.
And there we go.
That's fine.
Wow.
Loose immigration and border stance, out of touch with everyday Americans and the working class, and an anti-Trump obsession all got 4%. Then people got poor and old leadership. I give you that. No clear policy agenda. I don't believe that at all. Higher taxes and excess spending. We're getting taxed more. We always do under Republicans. I disagree there. Dishonesty. I wouldn't say that. Yeah, I wouldn't say that. Morally wrong, evil, violent, and ignorant. I wonder what 3% of people they ask that.
Right.
And big government and benefits for undeserving. Who is undeserving? That's again when we look at SNAP benefits and welfare and all those things, and most of it goes to white rural Southern red states.
But that's the messaging, right? I mean,
Sure it is.
we've talked about this. That's what Republicans are really, really good at, and Democrats are really, really bad at. Republicans stick to a message. Everybody in the party sticks to that message. It doesn't matter what position you hold. You could literally be the assistant bookkeeper to the county clerk, and you are going to hold the same exact message that the rest of the Republican Party does, because they're very good at that, and it trickles from the top all the way down. Democrats, on the other hand, there's a lot of, well, we don't necessarily agree with that, or we've got certain people within our party or certain wings of our party. There's no consistency among the Democrats. Republicans will always, always be better at the messaging. They always have been, because they're more organized in that respect.
So would that then be your big dislike? They're not consistent on the messaging?
I think so, because it's gotten them in a lot of problems. I mean, when you look at the loose immigration and the border stance, that's a messaging thing, right?
Yeah.
Because the Republicans picked up on that during Joe Biden's era. There were people at the border. They made Kamala Harris the border czar, according to the Republicans, and they picked up on that, and they continued with that messaging throughout the entire administration. They picked it up then during the 2024 election, and the Democrats really had nothing to combat it with, ever.
I would agree with the messaging.
Process.
I also think party unity behind a candidate is a huge, huge issue for the Democrat. What is yours? What is the one thing you would change about either political party, Republican or Democrat? 855-75-CIVIC, 855-752-4842. So that's those are my top. I agree with the top two in this poll. I would go with messaging, and I would also go with party unity, because and it goes to your messaging as well, where they'll stick on the message. They will back that one candidate. They will ride that horse till it drops. Whereas Democrats are all very precious about, but what about what they said about this, and what about that, and it's like, stop. We have to. What do you want to do? You want to win? And it was like my point with this spending bill. Do you want a small victory, or do you want to wait for the idealistic giant answer that's going to come down and just take you up to nirvana?
Right. It's government that's never going to come. It's never going to come, because it's politics and government, and that's just not how it works. It's not, unfortunately.
No. So that's what the Democrats need to do better. You can tell the respondents who are very hardcore Republican with the dishonestly, the morally wrong. How are Democrats morally wrong? But that's 3% of those people, as opposed to, shall we flip? Shall we go across the aisle?
We should.
What do Americans dislike most about the Republican Party? Well, as you can imagine, Trump tops the list of complaints about the Republican Party, not by an overwhelming margin, though. 12% of adults specifically cited Trump or loyalty to Trump when asked what they dislike most about the GOP, although another 4% criticized the Republican Party for not supporting Trump enough. What more could they do? Other than carry him around literally on their shoulders.
It's like a baby backpack, right? Where you put him in the carrier. And, yeah.
Oh. So Jake's on the text line. He's listening on WMDX. He said a change for the Democrats would be stop having rich corporate coastal people have such an outside voice in the party's decisions. That's a good one, Jake. I like that.
I'm going to be honest. This is why Gavin Newsom potentially running for president actually terrifies me.
Yeah,
exactly
he's another coastal elite.
He is. And Kamala Harris was also seen as another coastal elite, right? And that actually terrifies
Even though her roots were not elite at all.
They were not, but that's not how it was perceived.
And that's a problem. That's a problem that the Democrats have had since they were perceived a long time ago. And they were the party of labor. They were the party of the working class. They were all of the changes to labor laws and all that came from Democrats. And then suddenly it became, and that was another messaging point.
Yes.
Because I forget what campaign it was. I can't pinpoint it now, where it was the coastal elites. And that was when we turned against intellectuals. And it was a thing. And that was the Republicans hammering this home. Do you want these coastal elites who don't care about you? Some people are born into elite families.
Sure.
Others work hard to get to a certain point. intellectually, financially, successfully, it doesn't make them bad people.
Right.
It makes them successes. That's what America is supposed to be.
Yep.
You can work hard. Now, are there more barriers for some people than others? Of course. But it shows a Republican branding because we never heard of coastal elites.
Right.
Until it started becoming an issue.
They're very good at branding. Very, very good at branding. It's really not. I know people always ask the question, how did we get to Trump? How did we get this former TV star as president? Really? Because the Republicans have always been about marketing and branding, which is what TV stars essentially set themselves up to do.
Yeah.
And that's what a man who has buildings named after him and water and steaks and all of it, that's essentially what he was good at. So I've never understood the argument when people say, well, I don't know how he got here. That question has always puzzled me because he was what their marketing always has been. To me, anyway, when I watched it from afar. Chad over on our YouTube chat says Republicans can follow in line. Democrats are a wanderlust. That's a really great way of putting it about Democrats. I love the wanderlust line. That does strike a little bit.
Matt's in Middleton. He called in at 855-75 Civic. You could too. Hello, Matt. Welcome.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
So the one thing I would change about Republicans, which is a big one, is I would make them stop cheating. They've been cheating for decades.
Yeah.
I'm 50 years old, so I kind of was growing up back when they cheated a little less, but now it's just in our face every day, the cheating. And then as far as Democrats, I actually disagree with Brian. I think that when the middle class is shrinking the way it is, things are getting harder and harder. We actually need the progressive wing because the Clintons brought the Democrats more to center right. And the whole country has moved to the right. Progressives, what they want is the FDR kind of social safety nets that provided and gave us the healthy middle class that we've lost. So we actually need them now. Not that it's going to last, not that we need their policies forever, but we do need that correction.
Man,
that's what I would change about the Dems.
I don't completely disagree with you on that. It's just, and maybe you agree, maybe you don't. I think sometimes the progressive wing goes so far left because when you put it in the FDR, the New Deal, those kind of programs, of course, those are fantastic, and we do need those. Those are what help build the middle class. But then when you go more to the far left with the culture things, that turns a lot of people off. It's not and that's why progressive gets a bad rap. And I don't mean to contribute to that, but that's the reason why, for me, it gets too far left. Whereas if we focused on the individual issues,
primary system, though, couldn't we?
Yeah, that is true.
Because the extremists on both sides kind of take over primary.
Oh, 100. Yes. Oh, you're not going to get an argument on that from me, Matt. Matt, thanks for the call. Good talking to you.
Mark and Prairie du Sac saying, "Isn't Trump a coastal elite, generational wealth from New York?"
Of course he is.
Of course,
but
he is.
He's also not intelligent, so he's elite financially.
He's also Republican, so it's different.
Yes. Loyalty to Trump was the biggest dislike of the Republicans. 7% said they had no dislike for the Republican Party. 6% dishonesty, hypocrisy, immorality, including the Epstein files, got 6%. So that's that. All right, this is very interesting. Why did I think we had another minute?
Why did you think?
Because it should.
I don't know.
Because it should always end at 50. Because it's a weird time.
No, I've regressed, Parker. I got too much on my mind. I regressed.
Well, your due bucket was full. You were due for a lot of these.
This exact conversation though is why people are becoming independents. Because nobody wants to be associated with either of this crap, any of this crap.
Yeah.
I don't blame, especially young people who become apolitical. Can you blame them? Especially when they've watched all of the stuff that's happened over the last 10 to 12 years. And they've watched the parties basically eat themselves alive.
Yeah.
There's a reason they're apolitical. And maybe that would be better. I would actually love to see a world where we have no political parties.
Yeah, and people
Where you
just ran.
Yes, because then you'd actually have to have ideas. You couldn't just get support from the party.
And your voter base would get smarter.
Yes.
Because they'd actually be more educated electorate.
Yes, they'd have to be.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't just rely on the D or the R next to the name and, oh, that's who I'm going to vote for.
Yeah.
No, you actually have to listen to the people. I would love to see like a ranked choice with absolutely no political parties attached. John in Madison saying, left or right, you go all the way over the top with your policy efforts to end up closer to what you wanted from the start. Get used to it.
Yeah, I don't buy that.
No, I don't
John. I disagree. You don't have to undersell, but you don't have to. The oversell is what you don't get. And if you think, just look at the state. There's not cooperation. There's not negotiation. No. There's not. So going over the top is a death knell.
And I think the parties go over the top to appease the loudest part of the wing, loudest wing of the party. That's why they go over the top. I mean, to me.
Well, I don't know why both sides look at compromise as loss.
It's not loss. It's doing what's best for a majority of the people.
Right.
You have to have those voices in the room.
And if you get so dug in that you can never compromise,
right?
You have to give a little to get a little. That's right. And you could. I mean, if John thinks that's a cop out, that's fine. But I'm not going to get used to it. I'm not going to get used to people throwing stuff up that they know they'll never get. This is not some make-believe TV boardroom negotiation. Right. This is people's lives. You have to be smart about what you're going after. And yeah, you can try for a little more. So you got to give yourself a little wiggle room, but that doesn't mean going way over the top. It's like salary negotiation. I may start $10,000-$15,000 higher. That's not an outlandish remark that is going to shut
10 seconds here.
Stop it, Parker.
Wisconsin wakes up here. Back to Daybreak with Brian and Jamie.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning on the Civic Media Network. It is 7:52 right now. My name is Jamie Martinson.
And I'm Brian Noonan. I am obviously all wound up if you're listening on the stream. I don't want Parker to stop my stream of thoughts. I'm not arguing. I'm debating with people who are texting in, just having conversation, which is what we should all do.
Conversation this morning. I love this.
Thanks everybody for jumping in. You're always welcome to keep jumping in, especially if Jamie sent me this one too. She said a little town with no liquor, and now she sends that robots could be replacing juries. I simplified it, but would you trust your fate to an AI jury over a jury of your peers?
Yeah, it depends on who we're talking about, Brian.
855-75-CIVIC, 855-752-4842. This is, I'm out. I'm just going to say right now, I'm out. No.
It's crazy.
Researchers at the University of North Carolina School of Law tested AI systems as simulated jurors in a real criminal case. ChatGPT, Claude, and Grok debated the evidence, challenged each other, and changed opinions during deliberations, much like AI did over our beaver story. After 13 minutes, all three AI systems agreed on a not guilty verdict based on insufficient evidence and a lack of criminal intent. I do not care. I will not do this. Well, first of all, hopefully I've never committed a crime or have to go in front of a jury.
Right.
That would be fine.
There is that part of it.
But no.
This story is bonkers, though, because the AI verdict differed from the outcome that a human jury reached in the actual case. And of course that's led to a lot of debate, Brian, right? Because there's a lot of people who say, well, AI juries, they could reduce, the emotional bias. They could, any biases that are tied to race, gender, the socioeconomic background. And then you have your people who are like, well, there's no empathy when you're dealing with AI. There's no moral reasoning, and there's not an ability to fully understand human behavior. And of course, that's led to a lot of questions about whether or not AI could actually reflect any sort of hidden bias from their data, from their algorithms. And sometimes it's flawed. Don't always depend on AI to give you the correct answer. by the
No,
way,
if you use the
depending
AI
on it.
overlord when you Google something, you could be in a lot of trouble.
You could.
You could be in a lot of trouble.
Now, what I find most fascinating about this story is that this is being looked at to the degree that YouGov had to get people involved and ask them, would you be okay with this? So they actually polled 10,000 adults. And the question was, if you were falsely accused of a crime and it went to trial, would you prefer the case to be heard and decided by a human jury or an AI chatbot?
All right, before you give the results, let's go around the horn. I'm going
All
human
right.
100% of the time. Parker.
Human.
Human.
Jamie, human.
I want human. I want human. And we were not
Frank
alone.
is going to poke the bear. He
Of
wants a
course
robot.
he is. He wants a robot.
I'm sure he wants
Frank
robot.
wants a
He's big
robot
guy.
baseball player.
75% of people who participated in this YouGov poll also said that they would want a human jury of their peers. 7% voted for the best widely available AI chatbot.
Stop
We're going to put that in air quotes. 18%, I love these people. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. How do you not? That's why I love when any pollster has the undecided. How do you not have an opinion?
Right?
Have an opinion. That's why the world is in the situation we're in, because
Now,
people don't have an opinion.
This tells you why we're in a situation we're in. Millennial men. I'm not trying to pick on you. Some of you are great. Some of you are measured. They were most likely, though, to want AI over humans. So I guess
Gen Z men close behind, Parker.
yes.
Your ilk.
Yes. So would it be different if you did commit the crime? That was the next question YouGov asked. And it turns out not really, because if people did commit the crime, 71% would still prefer a human jury. 9% want the AI chat bot to decide it. 20% in this case aren't sure. And again, millennial men, we love you. But most were likely to want AI over humans. Gen Z men, again, close behind.
Why do millennials trust AI so much?
Is it because they grew up where they were one of the first generations to really have technology at their disposal? And is it easier to let ChatGPT, Claude, and Grok think for you? I mean, is that
Or
what
is it that they just don't want to serve on juries because they're lazy? And jury duty is awful. But it's a necessary part of this system of government that we have. Now I get maybe if you did do the crime, you really want humans because all of those things you said at the beginning, you can have a little little empathy, you can play on people's emotions.
Of course.
Maybe you can dupe some people who look like they're slack-jawed and not real smart. So I'd want people there. But if I didn't do it, I wouldn't want AI ever. Listen, I've seen AI try to print out help with cover letters and stuff.
Yes.
I'm like, this doesn't sound human at all. This is ridiculous.
Right.
Stop it.
I think if you are using it in any industry, right? If you are using it as a tool, and in law particularly, if you're going to do it for prompts for research or to basically just, use it to maybe back up what you're already thinking, and you just need anything like that. Preparation is always good, but I don't think in certain cases there's room for replacing humans.
No, I could research instead of having to look through a million law books trying to find a case. You could put it in there. Hey, I need case law on XYZ.
Yes.
And then it spits it out. Then you go, all right, it narrows
then
your
you
search.
Go do it yourself.
Right. Then you can go through and you find it. But having AI decide your guilt or innocence, if you're willing to give that over, man, you're the first in line to become Soylent Green. I don't want you around. You just go and let the robot overlords have you. Jamie is very upset about some hypocrisy. We will let her do that. If If you're listening on WMDX, we will talk to you later, or you can continue to listen on the Civic Media app. Don't forget you can download the podcast on Spotify. We will be back with more. It is Daybreak. This is the Civic Media Network.
All right.
I'm also upset by the Democrats' response.
I know. Well,
because I'm so excited to talk about.
You
this.
take
This
the
is
lead on this one.
ridiculous.
I'll do the quick tease about the
Sounds
Activate Your
good.
Summer and then
I'm gonna run to the bathroom before we do this.
oh, because you're getting all worked up.
That we have a guest too, so I won't be able to get out of here.
Oh, that's right. We do have a guest.
Right.
Is Brittany coming in again?
Yeah, she is.
Nice. Nice.
Oh, yeah. The building is for sure. I'll unlock that one. Yeah, I'll get that one right now.
Nice. Hello, stream. I've been abandoned. Just you and I. Glad you are here. It's Thursday. Ask me anything.
Oh, okay. I thought about unlocking the door
Parker's
earlier,
back.
but I didn't remember to do it.
Parky, the parkour is back.
Parkour.
Pow-pow. Do, 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 do. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I'd been on a pretty good run.
Yeah.
I think we should discuss this. I think part of the problem today was I was just talking. The other part is trying to figure out if we're both going to be part of the goodbye or if one person is going to be part of the eggs, in and out.
Yeah, I think generally though we should be getting out a little bit sooner. Like
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
okay with like 10 seconds of music at the end.
That seems like a lot.
Does it?
To me, it does. But that's a topic. I know Frank is making notes.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Oh, my.
Mr. Plowking is 100% correct here.
Coming out of a break, Parker. 10 seconds, so shut up and talk. Brian, you can't tell me what to do.
I tried my best, Mr. Plowking.
Yeah, well, listen. I am like a wild stallion. I cannot be broken, Mr. Plowking.
Stallion. Wow.
That's right. You heard it here. Oh, I just hurt my shoulder doing my big crotch chop.
Ugh. Girl.
I had gotten cortisone injections in my shoulder a few weeks ago, and it was feeling really good. And then last week, I was out with my mom, and as she tried to get out of her chair, her wheelchair, I went to lift her, and I felt my shoulder popping. I was like, oh. That's what you see. This is what you get for being nice.
I was gonna say this is why you don't help people.
This Parker, it's been my credo. If it had been a stranger, I would have left her, but it was my ma, so I had to, jump to her aid.
Yeah.
Yep. Ugh. Well, I'm afraid to go downstairs because today is deep cleaning day.
Oh, the shower's coming up this weekend.
Yes, so Molly is arriving tonight, and Debbie's sister, my sister-in-law, is coming tomorrow. So Debbie has to, can't just clean the house. We gotta, I don't know.
No, I do the same thing.
Yeah, I know. And I'm like, Molly's been here a million times. She,
She lived here, in fact,
we actually,
with us.
we actually birthed her, so she knows. Oh, I can't have it.
I'm the same way. I do the
And if
exact
I hear
same
one
thing.
more time, how does your pee get everywhere? I don't know. I hear it hitting the water. I see it hitting the water. I don't know what happens. How do you go down the side of the toilet? I don't know. I don't. I don't know where. I don't know. I honestly don't. Doesn't just drop out of us like it does you ladies.
Is the key to not needing to clean your bathroom for a man just sitting down instead?
That would be it.
Not cleaning as often.
Well, I guess then I mean, it's, the ladies don't have any, can't help
This
it if
conversation
splash.
took a turn.
No, it's I'm sure.
No.
Oh, I'm sure it would get a lot of engagement if we.
This would be a great 1A.
I actually
That would be a
say
great 1A.
we should, because I actually say the same thing. I was cleaning out our bathrooms this weekend, and mine took like 5 minutes. Like it right?
Yeah.
I go into the boys' bathroom, and I'm like, "What the hell do you people do in here? Like, what is happening?" I wipe down our bathrooms 3 or 4 times a week, do a deep clean once a week, and I'm like, "What happened between like Thursday and Saturday?"
We hydrated.
Tacos.
What are you
I
gonna
was
do?
like, "What happened to you?"
Oh well,
people?
that if that happens, Parker, I
Yeah.
brush that out immediately.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Dexter, he's got long hair past his shoulders now, so
Oh,
he looks
see,
everything.
that's-
You see, now he's molting. I'm like, do you molt? Why do you have hair
Okay.
everywhere?
10 seconds.
Why did molting get you all upset?
Across the state of Wisconsin, Daybreak with Brian and Jamie is back.
It's 8:06 right now. Thank you so much for joining us this morning on the Civic Media Network. If you're in Appleton and Oshkosh, listening on WISS, or in Eau Claire on 93.5 The Tap, or even in Wisconsin Rapids right now, you're listening on WFHR. Thank you for joining us. My name is Jamie Martinson.
Good morning. I'm Brian Noonan. I know it's only Thursday, but looking ahead to Monday, Monday is
Yes,
June 1st, and
it
Monday
is.
is the start of the Civic Media Accelerate Your Summer Text to Win multi-state contest. You need to be ready. I'm giving you days' notice. Get that Civic Media app if you don't already have it, because your daily chance to win $100 and a Wisconsin Dells prize package, plus every entry puts you into our grand prize drawing, and that grand prize is a $250 gas card and a $250 grocery card. You can download the Civic Media app for free. Be listening. Monday, we will give you all the details, but just know, forewarned is forearmed. Is that what? Yeah, that's what we say. That nobody says that. But Monday, get ready. Get the app. We're going to do it starting Monday. All right. Jamie was hot last night. She was hot about hypocrisy. She doesn't like it. She won't put up with it, and
No.
she's ready to go.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, politics, if you were listening in our last hour, politics is rough enough on people as it is. People don't actually agree with their own party. The party's in fight. We're going to actually get into that discussion a little later on about the parties here in the state of Wisconsin. That comes up at 8:30. But politics is rough enough. And Tom Tiffany, if you've been paying attention to the gubernatorial race, you know that he is the candidate for the Republican governor here in the state of Wisconsin.
Correct.
He is very active on social media. So over on his official Congressman Tom Tiffany page on Friday, May 22nd, he posted a graphic. And if you're on the stream, you can actually see what he posted.
And you
He
can
is
also see that Jamie took a posture when she started this. You brought your arm back on the table. Let's be honest. And it was like, oh, man, we're getting a lecture now. But go ahead.
This is the type of hypocrisy in politics that drives me absolutely bonkers. So in this particular graphic, if you haven't seen it, it is the Tom Tiffany campaign is assuming that Francesca Hong and Mandela Barnes are the front runners, which according to the most recent polling, they are for the Democratic primary. And in this graphic, he's got 3 columns, right? The first column is Francesca Hong, big X's, abolish the police,
Bright red,
legalize
too.
prostitution, empty prisons, extreme is the tag under her photo.
Are any
Mandela
of
Barnes-
those real, by the way? I don't believe so. We talked to Francesca Hong. She
Yeah, I
never
don't-
mentioned about legalizing
No,
prostitution
no.
or abolishing the police.
No. Mandela
Okay.
Barnes is the middle candidate. And in that, more red X's, it says defund the police, end cash bail, empty prisons. Radical is the tag under him.
Yeah.
Then we get to the third column, and it's Tom Tiffany, bright green, wearing his Wisconsin home hat, and it says support law enforcement, tough on crime, keep Wisconsin safe. Normal is how they've tagged
Normal.
Tom Tiffany.
Normal.
Here's the problem with this.
What's your problem?
This was seen by thousands of people, this particular post, this particular graphic. Tom Tiffany was at a press conference in Madison. It was like a media kind of outreach thing earlier this week on Tuesday. And he was asked specifically about the $1.8 billion anti-weaponization fund and whether January 6th defendants should be compensated from said fund. This is what he had to say.
Yeah, so I'm still studying the details in regards to that. I'm asking the administration to give us more as far as how exactly they expect to implement this. Yeah, I mean, I would want to take a look at what was the harm that was done to those victims. If it's significant enough, perhaps they should receive compensation.
What? Pardon me?
Victims?
Victims.
Victims. He's calling the January 6th insurrectionists victims. There's only one right answer for that question, a direct question. Should people involved in the January 6th insurrection get any reparations?
No.
There's one correct answer.
No.
No.
Wow,
that's radical.
Here's what bothers me about this. Obviously, the graphic that he posted on Friday, May 22nd, he's going to lean hard into this law and order, I'm the only one who can save this state kind of mantra, right? If you just look at this graphic, he's also said things similar over the past few weeks on the trail. Is this law and order? Is what he said about the anti-weaponization fund, is that the type of law and order that we're talking about? Where you have to examine things further and calling the insurrectionist victims? Is that what I'm understanding? That's where the hypocrisy comes in for me, and that's where my mind just can't draw a line from point A to point B. It doesn't work for me.
There is no line, and this is the simplest, most, to borrow a comedy term, hack argument and campaign thing. When you're still going back to, I want law and order and my candidates want lawlessness. Nobody wants lawlessness. I don't care how progressive you are. Nobody, even the most progressive, does not want crime in the streets. They don't want serious criminals out running around. They can argue about police. The problem is police reform, which is 100% needed. Always, in every department, you have to constantly be looking at how things are done. But that's been painted as not only abolish the police and defund the police, because people have used those terms, and they are bad terms, and they're going to turn off a lot of people. But how about we campaign on things that we really need, Tom Tiffany?
Right.
How about lowering property taxes? How about making Wisconsin more affordable? How about taking care of our schools?
He literally can't. And that's why I think we're leaning into the law and order of it all. One, it appeases the man who basically endorsed him for the state of Wisconsin, Donald Trump. Two, he can't run on those because his congressional record shows that he has voted against every bill that has come across in Congress that would have allowed people extended SNAP benefits, better health care, hospitalization. He's voted against all of those things. So it feels like they're hedging their bets. Like, if we don't talk about it, nobody will ask about the record.
Right. And just paint the Democrats. And again, we don't know who the candidate's going to be.
No.
At this point, you're right. Francesca Hong and Mandela Barnes are polling, but there's so many variables between now and then. So he's picking out candidates that may not even be his opponent, and painting them with really wild accusations. But that's political advertising. It shouldn't surprise us. This happens. It's going to start happening very soon for the Democratic primary, and we're going to see all of these, and the Democrats will turn on each other as they are trying. That's
August
part of
7th
politics.
Is the primary, so it's coming. If you're
ready. I would say by June 1st, it's going to start really hitting. June and July, we're going to be hammered.
I would say that Tiffany in River Falls, and then I'll address this. She asked, why isn't the Democratic Party putting out ads against Tom? It's so easy. Just use his words, post, show his voting record. Don't let him have all of the ad time. Dems, get your ish together. Thank you for that, Tiffany. If you want to chime in, 1-855-752-4842, 1-855-75-CIVIC. I have seen, not specifically from the Democratic Party, but I will say that certain PACs who have already started the ad campaigns against Tom Tiffany, especially since the GOP in Wisconsin has now had their state convention, and he was pretty much the presumed, heir to that.
Well, and also if
spot.
you're the Democratic Party, you're going to wait until you have an actual candidate and then start spending your money.
And then it's,
right now,
it's comparison. Then it's
right.
comparison.
Let the candidates spend their money now
Yep.
to win the primary, and then rally behind that candidate. Again, everybody rally behind whoever it is.
Yes,
And,
yes. No purity test this time around.
Nope. No.
Top leadership from top to bottom in this state is what we're getting. Now, here's where there's another bee in my bonnet.
Okay.
All right?
It's got to be a big bonnet with a lot of bees.
Social media bothers me, and this is why. Okay? And Democrats, I'm going to pick on you a little bit. All right? I'm going to pick on you just a little bit.
We can do it.
We have to, especially when we're talking about this. So there was a post that the Democratic Party put out yesterday. We're talking about the National Democratic Party.
Yes.
And on social media, it's the Democrats, right? It was a photo of James Tellerico, and if you're watching the stream, you can see that post. He's standing in front of the Texas flag, and the caption is, "Fired up, ready to go. It's time to take back Texas." Well, Stephen Miller, who we know is one of Trump's right-hand men, gets on social media, reposts it, and says, the Democrats made history in Texas by nominating their first transgender Senate candidate. Gross, awful, basically
untrue.
Right, untrue. It's
untrue. Let's start with that.
It didn't even bother, come to me to say that because it is so untrue that I can't believe I actually have to point it out. But yes, thank you.
No, but they're trying to use someone's sexuality as a slur is another old trope.
It's awful. So, okay, it's horrible. We could have just let that one go. But no, the Democrats, they upped their game and posted, they replied. And it says, "Shut up, you ugly F." That was their response to Stephen Miller. Okay. So I get
you got a bee in your bonnet about this? You don't like a little profanity?
I don't care about profanity. I use it myself. Here's what I care about. Is this what we want? I get Democrats need to be meaner. But is this why people are shunning politics? Because this type of attitude is just stupid and nobody has time for it. Do we really care that much what Stephen Miller has to say that this was the response that the National Democratic Conference Committee gave to Stephen Miller's post? Why give it any more light at all?
I think that post with that language is the most dismissive language you could use. And I think it backs up. It goes to your point. We're not even going to give you anything. Just shut up, you ugly. That's how you dismiss someone. Maybe they could have said bye, Felicia. That would have been fine.
Who does this play with? Because we just talked about the fact that people don't really love either party. We've talked a lot about the fact that people are abandoning both parties, becoming more independent. Is this why? Because they're tired of this?
No, but we also said one of the top reasons that people are upset with the Democrats, even Democrats, are that they don't fight hard enough. This is the exact kind of language. And listen, I wish we were a little more civil.
Sure.
X is not the place to be civil. X is a cesspool. That's the kind of language. If you want to get through on X, that's what you have to do. Now, is it the best? Is it an ideal situation? No. But I have no problem telling a guy like Stephen Miller to shut the F up and calling him ugly because he needs to, and he is.
Sure.
And how dare you? But instead of getting into all these long, how dare you, why would you say that about our James Tellerico is a wonderful man and blah, 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 blah. It's just like, shut up.
I mean, and let me be clear, I'm not precious by any sort of means. Like, I feel like the Democrats need to fight harder. I just wonder if we're starting to alienate too much on both sides, and this is why people are disengaging.
No, I think they're disengaging because we don't fight hard enough. All right, when we come back, is it time to scale back on screens in the classroom? I don't know. It's Daybreak on the Civic Media Network. There's your 10 seconds, Parker.
I appreciate it.
Nicely done with the screenshots. That was great. That worked
Yeah,
out
that worked
really
out
well.
really well.
That was
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah, I really like that. That was a very good idea. And now I can get rid of them from in here because they're taking up space.
Yes, you don't need to keep those around. We're not keeping them in perpetuity.
Oh, I should go through the files that are on this computer too. I hadn't thought of that.
How long do you think this meeting at 11 is going to be? Since we've already been promoting.
It shouldn't be very long. I mean, every host has done this contest multiple times.
Yeah.
So it shouldn't be very long. And I would say that if you pop on for like, a few minutes, but then have to go, just close out.
No,
go.
I mean, that's fine. I'm just like, what are they going to tell us?
I would guess 10 minutes is how long it should go. Should.
So an hour 20?
Yeah.
Who's going to be asking the most dumb questions?
I won't say that publicly.
It's with all of it. All of our hosts will be on it too. Yeah. So it's everybody from the music and stuff too. So.
Yeah.
Oh, music jocks.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're not used to talking for more than 40 seconds, so we don't have to worry about them. Good morning. Shot fired across the bow to music radio. Our brothers and sisters in sound.
Very nicely done, Parker.
Yeah. Anytime I can use that horn.
I was listening to something yesterday, and they used that horn sound, too, and I was like, I love that horn.
The first time I used that, Frank texted me. He's like, we have that?
It's the popular radio horn.
About 10 seconds.
All right.
Fairly solid and better than expected. It's Daybreak with Brian and Jamie.
It's 8:22 right now. Thank you so much for joining us this morning on the Civic Media Network. My name is Jamie Martinson.
And good morning, I'm Brian Noonan. So, do you think it's time to cut back on screens in the classroom? 855-75-CIVIC, 855-752-4842. Now, you remember right before the pandemic, and especially during the pandemic, every school district, every kid had to have an iPad or they had to have a laptop. And we had to, it was all going to be screens. And it did, pardon me, I'm all worked up. It did make sense during the pandemic because it allowed schools to keep teaching. It allowed kids to stay connected. It was fine. So districts around the country poured billions of dollars into laptops, tablets, learning apps. Oh, there's a million different apps, and they change all the time. Now, schools around the country are facing a digital reckoning. Classrooms have become saturated with screens. A growing number of parents, teachers, and districts around the country are saying it is time to scale back. They're using Los Angeles Unified School District, which is always a nightmare district. But they're using this as an example because they recently became the first major school district to say it will stop giving devices to its youngest students. It's part of a new screen time policy taking effect in the fall across the country's second largest school district. The crackdown is adding momentum to calls for reform emerging around the country. It makes a lot of sense for the younger kids. Now, when you get up into high school, you're going to be writing more papers. Do kids even still write papers in high school? Probably. You have to do a report.
Very rarely by hand.
Well, I mean, but they have to. That's what I'm saying. So, but you still have to. You still
You're
have to
just-
do those assignments,
Yeah.
right? You still have to. Still have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I say write, I mean type.
Yeah,
Okay.
type.
Okay.
Even I typed papers in school, Parker, and I graduated in 1997. So,
Typewriter?
no, what?
Just double
No.
checking. Just double checking.
How
Never
old do you
know.
think we are?
Listen,
said
Jamie, don't.
1997,
Unfortunately, you can't lump me in there because I took typing class in high school on a giant old Royal typewriter that you basically had to hammer each key down.
Yes.
I figured
No.
one of you did.
No, we had computers. I even took my
Okay.
typing classes on computers. Thank you.
No.
It was with a big floppy disk, but it was still computers.
Parker, I'm so old. When I was in college, the guys who took computer classes would walk home with boxes of punch cards.
Boxes of what?
Punch cards. That's how you used to program computers. That's how
Yes.
they would have.
what?
Yes.
Look it up. It's history. I lived
Look
through
at
it,
his
Parker.
face. He has
I
no
know.
It's
idea.
crazy.
He has no idea.
It is. They would come up with these giant boxes of cards, and I was like, "Those computer things are never going to last. I'm not wasting my time." That's crazy.
I mean,
But now, I don't know how well the punch cards are serving those people now. Probably
Right.
not. But yeah.
But I think this is fascinating because, I mean, there is such a dependency on technology. So the
Yes.
fact now that people are like, whoa, we need to scale this way back, right? I do find that fascinating. And, you talked about was L.A. being kind of the test case for this. At least 14 states have proposed laws to limit screen time in schools. And the federal government actually had to issue an advisory just last week warning that any sort of excessive screen use among youth is becoming a growing public health concern. That's what we're worried about.
We've been
Okay.
hearing that since kids were watching too many Saturday morning
Right.
cartoons.
Right.
Your
And
kid's
they-
sitting in front of the TV. For,
Cartoons are going to rot their brains, kind of thing. But I did look into it, and Wisconsin has a new state law. It's called 2025 Act 42. And under that law, public school districts must restrict students from watching personal electronic devices during instructional time. So that includes the cell phones, the smartwatches, the gaming devices, unless a teacher specifically allows them for educational purposes or a student has some sort of medical or emergency need. However, it doesn't say anything about what they need to actually do their assignments,
Right.
which is
I was
what
going
we're
to say
talking
that
about.
what,
Yep.
what you're talking about
Yep.
is completely different. Yeah.
And
Yes,
there-
you shouldn't have
there's-
your own phone or
Right now,
during
there's
class.
no rules on that, and for some schools, it does vary. It's actually varies in Wisconsin district to district. Some schools now have bell-to-bell policies where the only things that they can use are what the district provides them, especially for younger kids. But as far as the tools needed to educate in Wisconsin, we have no rules on that yet.
The rules you're referencing are the ones we've talked about before.
course.
These cell phones in school, and people, and that's a whole different policy. I think what the district is focusing on, and having been in classrooms where the kids from kindergarten on have
Yes.
iPads, and it's most of the day is spent
Yes.
a little bit of instruction and explaining the lesson and doing this, and then okay, now your assignment, even when the teachers write out the assignments, which they do, it's up on Class Kick, so you can go there and then kids are working at their own pace. But then you always have a disconnect, but during that's the only time teachers can actually bring small groups of students up and give kids either more help or give the accelerated kids some extra work. So it's become the norm rather than the exception.
Yes.
And I keep thinking back, well, how did we all go to school before we had those devices? We all
did the same work at the same time. And if you
Right.
got done before everybody else, you sat there quietly reading your book or working on some extra credit or
Yep.
doing something different. You didn't get to just move ahead because you were done. That's not
Right.
how
Or
it
your
works.
teacher would have you up front to do something else, and then you
Yes.
go over your work together. It was, and
Much
and
different.
some teachers now have tried to do a hybrid where, okay, the kids will work on their app, but then the whole class goes over the work together
Right.
and explains the problem and does it that way.
Mm-hmm.
But I can see it's because then with all these screens, especially in the younger kids, it's hard for them to hold their focus once they're not on their screen anymore.
Right.
Because the apps, as you can imagine, these educational apps are set up like video games. It's very
course.
to keep the kids engaged and teach the lessons. So when all of a sudden they have to just sit in a circle and listen to the teacher or look at the whiteboard, it's very difficult. So you can't do this cold turkey, but
No.
weaning them off, I think, is a good idea.
And right now, Wisconsin, we don't have any rules. We just, personal devices, no. Everything else, yes.
Listen, there's a lot of riffs everywhere, especially in the legislature. Brittany Carloni joins us from Wisconsin Watch to talk about the most recent. It's Daybreak on the Civic Media Network.
All right, let me let in Brittany.
Perfect. Thank you, Parker.
Let her in. Bring her in.
She's going to be attached to this one. Good morning. Come on in. Mr. Plowking says, I worked for the University of Illinois Computer Department as an undergrad in the mid-'90s. There were boxes of unused punch cards in the basement. We used them as note cards.
There you go. See, Parker, the punch cards were definitely a thing. Thank you, Mr. Plowking.
How are you this morning? We're great. So glad you could join us. How's your puppers?
Yeah, how's the dog?
Good. Good.
It was a little that was
scary.
more ticks on him than I've ever seen.
What kind of dog?
Oh man.
He's like a mini poodle terrier mix.
Oh, yeah, and then
so
they're
he's
little. Yeah. Okay. All right, we are all connected.
Good morning, Brittany. Thanks for being here.
Yes, of course.
Where did all the ticks come from? Where were you walking the dog?
So over the weekend, because the weather was really nice, we went to the Governor Nelson State Park.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It was
It's beautiful. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful. But yeah, it was yeah.
Did you go down by the little waterfall?
No,
Oh.
I think we went more like where the Panther Mound was.
Oh, yeah. So that's very grassy over there.
Yes.
You went to Tick Point.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it was a little spooky. So just to see that many on him, and he was in this little window where I was kind of worried, is something gonna happen? 'Cause
Right.
We have all of our preventative meds, but after moving here, we hadn't gotten a new vet yet, and so we had an appointment already scheduled.
Yeah.
And, we were like, all right, let's go in, make sure we're good.
No, that's always scary.
Yeah. But no, apparently this year especially, it's really bad.
Horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, it's bad this year.
But no, he's good. But yeah, he's like my child, basically.
Yes.
So-
Yeah, we're both dog people. So as soon as Frank said, we were like, no, do whatever you need to.
Yep.
I'll have to share a picture of him.
Yes.
He's a little cutie.
How old?
He's 5 turning 6.
Okay.
So I got him in January of 2021.
Oh, that's yeah. During COVID.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mr. Plowking on our chat saying loads of ticks on my drone flying field too. They seem extra large this year. Yeah.
Yeah, and he my dog, he really loves to go out and walk and do trails and stuff.
Yes.
Even for being a little guy, and so it was like, oh, it's a nice weekend. It was like, maybe you should not have done that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't realize all the ins and outs of ticks till we moved here. And our vet the first time was like, oh, no, she should have, it was our dog before this one, but she was like, she should have a Lyme vaccine. She should have, I was like, okay.
Oh, wow. Did you see him? How did you even know he had him, Brittany?
Yeah, I mean, so when we went to the park, I had an extra flea and tick collar on him. And when we got off the trail, I knew that I should check him.
Yeah.
And so I checked him, and there was one that I saw that was just kind of crawling on his head. So I was like, all right, let's get that off.
So when we're done, I'll tell you, I go to Etsy a lot, and there's people who make fly, deer, tick, and it's just a spray for people too.
Yeah.
It actually works.
Wow.
It repels them. Obviously, Asp is on her preventatives, but it repels them, and she doesn't get nearly as many. It's for mosquitoes and everything.
Wow. But no, so I'd seen, good dog parents, after you're out in wooded areas, you need to check.
Check them. Yeah.
So I checked him and I saw one, and then I was like, okay, I don't see any other ones. He let me check in his paws. And then when we got home, I checked again and he looked okay. And then at the end of the night, I checked again because I'm kind of neurotic, and that's where I saw that's where right around his neck I removed.
Like his collar.
Yeah.
All right. We've got about 20 seconds to our back. Brittany, could you do me a favor and just bring that microphone a little bit closer to you if you can? Yeah, just good. Yeah, we're all good.
Okay, cool.
Awesome. And we've got 15 seconds till we're back.
Local voices, statewide impact. It's Daybreak with Brian and Jamie.
It's 8:35 right now. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We do appreciate it. Hopefully you are having a great Thursday. My name is Jamie Martinson.
And good morning, I'm Brian Noonan. Well, you know the story. Last week, Governor Evers and Republican legislative leaders unveiled a $1.8 billion spending plan. It was met with immediate backlash on several fronts. The bill failed in the Senate, and now that failed bill has caused rifts in both the Democratic and Republican parties, even amongst their own, not just back and forth. But no, Democrats are mad at Democrats, Republicans are mad at Republicans. What is going on? I don't know. You don't know, but Brittany Carloni knows. She's been covering the story as the state government and politics reporter for Wisconsin Watch, and Brittany's back with us. Good to have you back, Brittany. So this whole thing went from 0 to 60 in a couple of days. It came and then it went. So what are the biggest takeaways that you're hearing that were caused by the failure of the bill to pass?
So I mean, and I think I want to highlight the big news this week was that the Marquette University Law School poll that came out on Tuesday showed that 80% of adults who were surveyed by the poll said that they wanted that bill to pass. And I think the way the questions were worded, I've seen a little bit of criticism of the poll, but I think the way the questions are worded, when somebody asks you if you want all this money for schools, if you want to get a $300 or $600 rebate check if you're a married couple, that, I think people would say. Of course
people are going to say yes.
Well, and one of the things we pointed out with that is that poll was done May 20th through the 21st. The story broke on the 21st then that it would have actually put the state deficit billions into the red, right? And so you have to wonder if people would have had that information. That was one thing we discussed here on the show. Would their answers have been different in that particular Marquette poll?
Yeah, and I think that's part of the struggle. The fact that this whole situation went from the bill and the deal being introduced that Monday, and then by Wednesday night it was dead. And I remember even my mom that week in the Milwaukee area the next day had messaged me and said, "What do you mean it's dead? I thought this just got introduced."
It was the fastest government movement we've seen.
But no, I think some of the big takeaways. So the deal, I should say, was introduced on May 11th. And so not even quite 2 weeks ago at this point. But this was a unique thing because Governor Evers negotiated this with the Republican legislative leaders that he's basically been fighting with for the last 8 years. So when you think of Governor Evers making a deal with Robin Voss and Devin LeMahieu, when the last 8 years have not really been exactly the most friendly of relationships with that group of people, that already was kind of an oddball piece to this and takeaway to this story that, hey, these people are coming together to compromise on something. But then you saw immediately how the Democratic candidates for governor, specifically Francesca Hong and Calder Roys, came out swinging, saying that this is a really bad idea, concerns about if the state could match growth to actually pay for this projected surplus. And then you saw folks like Tom Tiffany agreeing with with the Democrats who really objected to this bill, saying that he also didn't like the bill, but from Tom Tiffany's perspective, he wants to return the entire surplus back to taxpayers across the state. And then you saw in the Senate how all of the Senate Democrats voted against that bill, but then you had a couple Republicans, especially fiscally conservative Republicans like Steve Nass and Chris Kapenga, who sided with Democrats on voting for that bill. or voting to object to that bill.
Yeah.
And so it was just kind of like a topsy-turvy world at the Capitol 2 weeks ago, and we're still seeing fallout from that, especially because
Yes.
the Marquette poll, one of the questions that stood out to me was how a majority of adults said that they're going to think about this when it comes to how they vote for governor and state legislative candidates.
Well, and I think that's going to be one of the big things going forward. I mean, from your perspective, what you're hearing from leaders in the Capitol, are they worried about the fallout in the governor's race based off of this one surplus bill that, I mean, taxpayers just see it as getting checks in their mailbox, right? They see it as maybe some relief in their school districts when there's always referendums on the ballot. Do you think that this plays in? Are Democrats worried about that, knowing how messy this primary is for them?
Yeah, I mean, I think folks are looking at that poll on Tuesday and kind of going, "Oh, what do we do going forward?" And I think a lot of folks that I've talked to, and just in general in politics, say voters' attention spans are very short. So maybe there are people who are thinking, "Hey,
yeah,
maybe once we hit late July into August for the partisan primary, or once we hit November, maybe there will be a different conversation that we're talking about at this point." But I think, especially as the state Wisconsin Democrats have their state convention in a couple of weeks, I'd be curious if there's more pushback from folks like Missy Hughes, who was the only Democratic candidate who really came out to say, this is a good idea, bipartisanship should be a good idea, compromise should be a good idea. So especially as in the next couple of weeks, as the Democratic candidates are trying to differentiate themselves with the convention on the short horizon here, I think we might see more of this continue to be a conversation.
Brittany Carlone is our guest. She is the state government and politics reporter for Wisconsin Watch. WisconsinWatch.org is the website where you can read all of Brittany's stuff. All right, now the answer may have shifted a little since the poll came out, but as you were talking to people at the Capitol, did this really come down to fundamental disagreements with the policy itself, or was this more politics like, no, we don't want to give up the chance for us to spend it for the Democrats, if we take the trifecta in November, or for the Republicans, if we take the governorship back? We want the money. We don't want to use it now. Is it all just politics as usual, or did people actually have real feelings about this?
So I think from what I was able to see and like the conversations that I was having that week specifically, nobody's going to directly say, "Hey," nobody's going to come out and directly say, "Hey, we want to keep this money so that way we can spend it." But there was, in pretty much all of the conversations and statements and comments that people were making that week, I think about on the Senate floor, Diane Hesselbein, who's the Democratic minority leader, she directly addressed, "Hey, if Democrats are in the majority in the Senate next year, we would focus on making sure that everybody has a voice at the table. We would talk about how we want to actually spend this money." And I think that, like, from what I was able to see, that was like the underlying conversation at this point, because people were, especially Democrats, were really kind of throwing Governor Evers and Robin Voss and Devin LeMahieu in this category of these three lame duck elected officials.
Yeah, that came up a lot.
It did. And I mean, when you're over at the Capitol, obviously hearing more of these conversations, it is unusual to see the Democrats in this state not side with Governor Evers.
Yes.
So was that surprising to you, just watching it play out?
Yeah, I mean, and again, I've only been back in Wisconsin since September, but based on like my experience so far and like the history that I've read up on that I missed in the 8 years that I was gone, and the folks that I talked to that week, that was a really big standout. Hey, this is pretty odd considering just in the last couple legislative sessions, Democrats had to be ready to defend any Evers vetoes from being overturned by Republicans. So for them to come out swinging that week and saying, this is a bad idea. It was pretty odd.
Even for the gubernatorial candidates to basically just say, no, I'm separating myself completely from whatever this deal was.
Yeah.
I was out of town when this happened. It was a little shocking
Yeah.
to be watching it play out from afar, that the Democrats were that against whatever this backroom deal, we'll put in air quotes, might have been.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, especially in these next 6+ months, the last months of Evers' term, how much more of a separation those candidates and even Democratic lawmakers, there's not a lot happening right now, but it'll just be interesting to see if there's an even further separation from Governor Evers at this point.
Yeah.
Was it more of a surprise, do you think, that they split from Evers, or how fast and how vocal they were about their split? Because, again, we keep going back to this timetable. The proposal was unveiled on the 18th, and by the 20th, it was dead.
Yeah. I honestly, from my perspective, I think it's a combination of both. I mean, that deal was introduced at 11 a.m. that Monday, and like almost immediately, Kelda Roys had come out with her statement really hitting that very hard. So there was the surprise that kind of statement was out there, and then I think that was just a signal of like how fast things were going to be moving, that it was like, okay, this is announced, people are already upset, this is going to get moving through the legislature. But I do think, even just going back to the way that Democrats have been pretty lockstep with Evers over the last 8 years, given the fact that they hadn't, prior to 2018, they hadn't had a Democratic governor to
Do we know how long they had been negotiating this deal before anybody knew that it had actually, before it made the light of day?
Yeah. So back in January was when the Legislative Fiscal Bureau announced that, hey, we're seeing that this projected surplus will be much bigger than we even expected when they were negotiating the budget last year. And then in February, as the Assembly was trying to wrap up their work for the year to get folks out on the campaign trail, there was a very similar, very fast-paced week where Robin Vos was really trying to put the pressure on Evers to get some sort of deal negotiated so lawmakers wouldn't have to come back to the Capitol. And Evers was like, hey, I don't really like what you're proposing. Vos, and I think once Vos and Devin LeMahieu got on the same page, there were still conversations happening. So pretty much since February, since like mid-February, that these conversations have been happening.
If the conversations were happening that long, have you heard any scuttlebutt about why the information that came out Tuesday, or the report that came out on the 21st saying, you know, it would actually cost the state so much more and put us at a deficit, how that either was ignored or how they didn't realize it? Is there any answer to that, to go, hey, wait, you presented it as one thing, and then the day after you kill it, we find out, boy, it was completely the opposite?
This has been an interesting thing to see, because the Legislative Fiscal Bureau had information about that they presented to lawmakers, but it's this like separation fight on what the state's growth might look like. And I think Republicans and Democrats that were in favor of the bill said, hey, like Wisconsin's revenue growth has not been stagnant over the last like several years, and it's still expected to grow in the coming years, where Democrats and folks who were concerned about the bill looked at what the Legislative Fiscal Bureau put out and said, hey, if we have bad economic conditions, if we don't have certain growth over the next several years, this could put us in that major deficit. And so I think for folks, especially who are looking at who controls the Capitol next year, that was a big question of what things should be moving forward.
Yeah. This is going to be interesting because, as you alluded to, I think, Brian, there's going to be a lot of ramifications over what's going to happen over the next few months. And obviously, leadership from the top down in this state is very much in play. Brittany Carloni, she is the Wisconsin Watch State Government and Politics reporter. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
WisconsinWatch.org.
Always good to have you, Brittany.
Yes.
It is 8:48 right now. My name is Jamie Martinson.
And I'm Brian Noonan. Hey, it's National Hamburger Day. We'll talk about that after this. Yeah, we're switching it up. It is Daybreak on the Civic Media Network.
Awesome.
All right,
All
we're
right.
clear.
Thanks, Brittany.
Thank you.
Of
Thank you.
course.
Always
Happy
good
come
to
back
have you.
anytime.
Perfect. Good luck with the dog.
Thank you.
Right. I was trying to find a picture of Miss Aspen.
So he's my phone background.
Oh, look at his little face. Let me see if I can find Aspie. My whole phone is covered in Aspen photos.
Ha! I love those colors.
So this is, let me see if I can find her best photo ever. So this is my Miss Aspen.
Oh my gosh,
The ears. It's the ears. It's the ears. And then she thinks she's a parrot sometimes.
Oh my gosh. And she seems kind of little.
She's about 35 pounds.
Oh my gosh.
So she's kind of too big for that, but
They don't know their personal
no, they don't. No. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's always fabulous having you in here.
I look forward to the next
Yes,
time.
we'll talk to you soon. Have a good week.
Bye.
Rest of your week, I should say.
Yes.
Thanks so much for coming in. Appreciate it.
Oh, she's so smart and really good at her job.
That's a nice change.
2 minutes.
When people are good at their job like that.
She's really good at her job. And she's fun.
She is. She does seem very upbeat.
She's a great person, too. I love when she comes in. She's always got really smart writing, too. And because she's really well researched, she can have really great conversations about her writing.
Yeah.
I had a couple more questions there, but I was like, none of these are going to be long, short enough for 1 minute, so we're just going to wrap it here. I knew there'd be a much longer answer in it, so. Oh, my whole chest just popped.
Ooh.
Your chest pops too?
Oh, all the time.
Okay. I've been told that's not a normal thing.
My chiropractor says if when I stretch and it pops, it needs to. So
All right.
just, unless it hurts, let it do
Cool.
its thing.
Okay. It doesn't happen very much anymore, but it used to happen a lot.
Like I can actually hear it sometimes click, like right here.
Yeah. Yeah, 15 seconds till we're back.
Ah. Now back to more of Daybreak with Brian and Jamie.
It's 8:52 right now. Green Onions by Booker T and the MGs. Thank you very much for that, Parker. That's a great one this morning. You are listening to the Civic Media Network. My name is Jamie Martinson.
And good morning, I'm Brian Noonan. All right, you may not know this. I am very excited to announce that today is National Hamburger Day. 855-75-CIVIC. Describe your ultimate burger. There's burgers everywhere. Actually, hamburgers are among America's favorite foods. They often come, as you know, paired with another favorite, French fries. French fries have the top spot in YouGov's The Most Popular American Dishes poll. Hamburgers come in fourth. Grilled cheese and cheeseburgers are number 2 and 3. So Americans love hamburgers. Look, anytime you drive around, from Culver's to every fast food chain, it's hamburgers. We love hamburgers. Consumers actually spent $115 billion at U.S. burger chains last year. That's according to the Senior Director of Industry Research at Technomic. Burger chains account for 20% of all consumer spending at chain restaurants. Not bad.
No.
So today, of course, there are burger deals all over if you are looking for a burger deal. But I know you've talked about your smash burgers. Is that your ultimate burger, Jamie, the smash burger?
I do the Juicy Lucy's.
Oh, the Juicy Lucy's. That was
yes.
it. Yes.
I don't know if it's my ultimate. It's my family's ultimate. I can live without the Juicy Lucy. They're delicious. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm kind of okay with not burning my chin because the cheese gushes out of the middle kind of thing.
Fair.
So there's that. For me personally, I think burgers are different because I have definitely my favorite fast food burgers, but then I know if I'm going to sit down somewhere and I'm going to have like a burger, what I want. My favorite place of all time to get a burger, it is located in Elk River, Minnesota. The name of the restaurant was Daddy-O's, and it was like this old diner that was set up. It was originally like a Tex-Mex type of place, and the new owners came in, and so they still have like the Tex-Mex stuff on the menu, but then they parlayed into the burgers, the fries, and the shakes, right?
Okay.
So when you get a burger at Daddy-O's, it is, they say it's a 1/3 pound burger. I would venture to say it's closer to 1/2 pound. It's very, very large. It fills the entire bun. It's thick. It's juicy. They cook it to perfection every single time. They have several different reiterations of the burger that you can get depending on what you want. You can make your own. I am a fan of what they call the California burger, which is your lettuce, your tomato, a little mayo, not too much because I don't want things oozing out of my burger. Usually don't love cheese on it. And then, that's kind of my pickles. Put a few pickles for the crunch in the middle, and I'm usually good. And then Daddy-O's also has a really amazing fry. I am very specific about my French fries. I love a good crinkle cut. Got to be really crispy on the outside, very soft on the inside. I'm specific like that. Don't give me the shoestring things, like those little tiny things. No, I don't want those. I'm specific about my fries. That's my ultimate. If I'm doing a fast food burger, Culver's is usually a good one because Culver's usually can get it done. So I'll stick to the Wisconsin roots of it all.
All right, I'll go fast food. Yeah, there's a difference, 100%.
Yes.
Fast food, the Whopper is the top burger.
Sure.
No question. Followed very closely, and I can't get it because it's small places. Frank would know this. There's Mickey's is like a Greek diner kind of place.
Sure.
And they're peppered all over, and they have everything. You can get rib tips, you can get a gyro, but their cheeseburgers, their Big Mickey is a double cheese, and they're those really thin patties, not a smash burger, just a real thin patty, a ton of melted cheese, and they put these grilled onions on there.
Oh,
the
that's
whole
always
thing
good.
oozes. Yeah. It's delicious. So those would be my two if I'm going out. But if I'm grilling burgers, there's no thin burger coming off my grill. It's got to be. I use the 1/2 pound patties, keep it nice and thick.
Yep.
It's got to have Swiss cheese, bacon, mayo, ketchup, bread and butter pickles, grilled onions is the choice.
Yes.
Raw onion is okay. A little bit of shredded lettuce on there, and I want it just a little pink, a little juicy.
Yep.
Now see, Chris is texting in.
Okay.
His favorite
all
place
right.
used to be Fuddruckers. I loved Fuddruckers.
Fuddruckers was great. Yes.
Because they were thick. You get that big patty,
Yep.
and then you could dress it with all the other stuff.
And then you built your own, essentially.
Built
is what
your
you
own
got
burger.
to do, which was
and they
fantastic.
had good buns. Toasted bun, you have to have a
bun
toasted
is the best. And I am kind of a snob when it comes to my bun as well. I kind of like if I'm having a really big burger, the bun has to support the whole thing because nobody wants a lap full of burger, right?
No,
so
it's got to be a bakery style bun, not a bagged bun.
Yes, exactly. And then it also, again, like you mentioned, has to be toasted. Little butter, not too much, because you also don't want them to get soggy on the center. So it's got to have that nice crisp around the edge.
I was waiting. I was like, wait, Frank isn't here on Food Talk. He must have left.
I'll pop in for this.
Yes,
I will
okay,
pop
all
in.
right. Favorite best burger? How do you build
ultimate
it?
burger?
Dress
You're building your burger, Frank.
This is it. Double smash burger, cheese, Martin's potato roll, pickles,
Very
onions,
specific.
burger sauce. Done.
Nice.
What's
What's
the burger sauce?
It like In-N-Out spread, like
Okay,
ketchup,
Yeah.
mayo, maybe a touch
Yeah.
of mustard, some relish in there.
Well, I like to mix my ketchup and mayo up.
I think it's.
Yep. I love a good onion. I love, but not too thick, because some restaurants will get all happy with the knife and I'll put these big.
I like
thick,
some good onions though.
I like onion, but I want them thinly, like a little thin. I don't want them like paper thin, but like I don't need a big chunk of onion in there.
Tomatoes are good if they're in season.
Pass.
Yeah, because you don't want bitter.
I don't want
bitter tomatoes
or just mush.
Roger
Pass
from
tomatoes.
Stevens Point says that once a year for a family picnic, he makes chili burgers. Okay, now I'm intrigued. What's a chili burger?
It's a burger with chili on top of it.
Alicia chiming in over on our YouTube chat says she's at Culver's right now, which is great. And Mims in Menasha is the best.
Really?
I've actually heard of Mims. I have not had a chance to stop there, but I've been told that when I get in that vicinity, I have to go. So interesting.
Well, go check out their burger
yeah.
specials at Burger King, Buffalo Wild Wings, Dairy Queen, Red Robin, Shake Shack, a lot of places around Wisconsin. Enjoy a burger today. We will enjoy saying goodbye to you only because we then get to say hello to you again tomorrow. So we will be back for our Friday edition. Thank you for listening and be a part of the show. I'm Brian Noonan.
I'm Jamie Martinson. Thank you so much. We will talk to you again tomorrow morning right here on the Civic Media Network.
See you.
Alrighty.
Is it getting cooler in there, Parker?
It's not. Yeah. Actually,
Okay, because
yeah.
I fiddled with the thermostat when I
Oh,
ran
did
to
you?
the bathroom
I
because I was
see.
hot.
See, live stream. We're hot here, but it's